Moving on finally to golf news now, and Alex and Matt Fitzpatrick made history by becoming the first brothers to win a PGA Tour event at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans Pairs Tournament. The English brothers started the final round with a 4-shot lead. That was after setting a tournament record on Saturday, but they struggled to find their rhythm in the final round and had to endure a nervy finish, but in the end coming out on top. And this is what Alex Fitzpatrick had to say after the final hole. He says, "It won't sink in. It's amazing to be here with my mum and dad. It's a lot of hard work and I can't believe we've done it. It's as good as it gets." Well, Matt Fitzpatrick had this to add: "It was a struggle. I was doing zero to help him, but he was fantastic on the back nine. I said, just give us a chance on the last to hit a bunker shot like that. It means the world. I'm absolutely speechless. It was a grind today, but he was unbelievable, and I could not be more proud." That's all for now. We'll have more later. These are your latest sports news headlines. I'm Alex Jack. Well, we start with the football headlines on this Monday morning, and Tottenham Hotspur have had a significant blow with the news that Netherlands attacking midfielder Xavi Simons has been ruled out for the rest of the season and this summer's World Cup due to a knee injury. Simons was carried off on a stretcher in the second half of Tottenham's 1-0 victory against Wolverhampton Wanderers at Molineux on Saturday. That was with the reports he may have suffered an anterior cruciate ligament injury. The 23-year-old fell to the ground after a collision with Wolves defender Hugo Bueno, and it has now been confirmed that his season is over and he won't be featuring at the World Cup. Well, this is what Simons has written on social media. "They say life can be cruel, and today it feels that way. My season has come to an abrupt end and I'm just trying to process it. Honestly, I'm heartbroken. None of it makes sense." We're moving on to the Scottish Premiership title race, and Hearts took another step closer towards the Scottish crown after a 2-1 victory against Hibernian on Sunday. A feisty Edinburgh derby, 2 red cards for Hibs in that game, but Hearts going on to claim the victory thanks to a late goal from Blair Spittle. Meanwhile, at Ibrox, Rangers' hopes of winning the title took a significant blow after a 3-2 home defeat at the hands of Motherwell. Well, just to look at the table, Hearts top of the standings, 73 points. Celtic in second place on 70 points, and Rangers just a point further behind on 69 points following that defeat to the Steelmen. Meanwhile, there's one game taking place in the Premier League on Monday night as Manchester United hope to take another step closer to securing Champions League football as they prepare to host Brentford at Old Trafford. 8 o'clock kickoff for that one in Manchester. Moving on finally to golf news now, and Alex and Matt Fitzpatrick made history by becoming the first brothers to win a PGA Tour event at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans Pairs Tournament. The English brothers started the final round with a 4-shot lead. That was after setting a tournament record on Saturday, but they struggled to find their rhythm in the final round and had to endure a nervy finish, but in the end coming out on top. And this is what Alex Fitzpatrick had to say after the final hole. He says, "It won't sink in. It's amazing to be here with my mum and dad. It's a lot of hard work and I can't believe we've done it. It's as good as it gets." Well, Matt Fitzpatrick had this to add: "It was a struggle. I was doing zero to help him, but he was fantastic on the back nine. I said, just give us a chance on the last to hit a bunker shot like that. It means the world. I'm absolutely speechless. It was a grind today, but he was unbelievable, and I could not be more proud." That's all for now. We'll have more later. These are your latest sports news headlines. I'm Alex Jack. Well, we start with the football headlines on this Monday morning, and Tottenham Hotspur have had a significant blow with the news that Netherlands attacking midfielder Xavi Simons has been ruled out for the rest of the season and this summer's World Cup due to a knee injury. Simons was carried off on a stretcher in the second half of Tottenham's 1-0 victory against Wolverhampton Wanderers at Molineux on Saturday. That was with the reports he may have suffered an anterior cruciate ligament injury. The 23-year-old fell to the ground after a collision with Wolves defender Hugo Bueno, and it has now been confirmed that his season is over and he won't be featuring at the World Cup. Well, this is what Simons has written on social media. They say life can be cruel, and today it feels that way. My season has come to an abrupt end, and I'm just trying to process it. Honestly, I'm heartbroken. None of it makes sense. We're moving on to the Scottish Premiership title race, and Hearts took another step closer towards the Scottish crown after a 2-1 victory against Hibernian on Sunday. A feisty Edinburgh derby, 2 red cards for Hibs in that game, but Hearts going on to claim the victory thanks to a late goal from Blair Spittle. Meanwhile, at Ibrox, Rangers' hopes of winning the title took a significant blow after a 3-2 home defeat at the hands of Motherwell. Well, just to look at the table, Hearts top of the standings, 73 points. Celtic in second place on 70 points, and Rangers just a point further behind on 69 points following that defeat to the Steelmen. Meanwhile, there's one game taking place in the Premier League on Monday night as Manchester United hope to take another step closer to securing Champions League football as they prepare to host Brentford at Old Trafford. 8 o'clock kickoff for that one in Manchester. Moving on finally to golf news now, and Alex and Matt Fitzpatrick made history by becoming the first brothers to win a PGA Tour event at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans pairs tournament. The English brothers started the final round with a 4-shot lead. That was after setting a tournament record on Saturday, but they struggled to find their rhythm in the final round and had to endure a nervy finish, but in the end coming out on top. And this is what Alex Fitzpatrick had to say after the final hole. He says, "It won't sink in. It's amazing to be here with my mum and dad. It's a lot of hard work and I can't believe we've done it. It's as good as it gets." Well, Matt Fitzpatrick had this to add. "It was a struggle. I was doing zero to help him, but he was fantastic on the back nine. I said, just give us a chance on the last to hit a bunker shot like that. It means the world. I'm absolutely speechless. It was a grind today, but he was unbelievable and I could not be more proud." That's all for now. We'll have more later. These are your latest sports news headlines. I'm Alex Jack. Well, we start with the football headlines on this Monday morning, and Tottenham Hotspur had a significant blow with the news that Netherlands attacking midfielder Xavi Simons has been ruled out for the rest of the season and this summer's World Cup due to a knee injury. Simons was carried off on a stretcher in the second half of Tottenham's 1-0 victory against Wolverhampton Wanderers at Molineux on Saturday. That was with the reports he may have suffered an anterior cruciate ligament injury. The 23-year-old fell to the ground after a collision with Wolves defender Hugo Bueno, and it has now been confirmed that his season is over and he won't be featuring at the World Cup. Well, this is what Simons has written on social media. "They say life can be cruel, and today it feels that way. My season has come to an abrupt end, and I'm just trying to process it. Honestly, I'm heartbroken. None of it makes sense." We're moving on to the Scottish Premiership title race, and Hearts took another step closer towards the Scottish crown after a 2-1 victory against Hibernian on Sunday. A feisty Edinburgh derby, 2 red cards for Hibs in that game, but Hearts going on to claim the victory thanks to a late goal from Blair Spittle. Meanwhile, at Ibrox, Rangers' hopes of winning the title took a significant blow after a 3-2 home defeat at the hands of Motherwell. Well, just to look at the table, Hearts top of the standings, 73 points. Celtic in second place on 70 points, and Rangers just a point further behind on 69 points following that defeat to the Steelmen. Meanwhile, there's one game taking place in the Premier League on Monday night as Manchester United hope to take another step closer to securing Champions League football as they prepare to host Brentford at Old Trafford. 8 o'clock kickoff for that one in Manchester. Moving on finally to golf news now, and Alex and Matt Fitzpatrick made history by becoming the first brothers to win a PGA Tour event at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans pairs tournament. The English brothers started the final round with a 4-shot lead. That was after setting a tournament record on Saturday, but they struggled to find their rhythm in the final round and had to endure a nervy finish, but in the end coming out on top. And this is what Alex Fitzpatrick had to say after the final hole. It says, "It won't sink in. It's amazing to be here with my mum and dad. It's a lot of hard work and I can't believe we've done it. It's as good as it gets." Well, Matt Fitzpatrick had this to add. "It was a struggle. I was doing zero to help him, but he was fantastic on the back nine. I said, just give us a chance on the last to hit a bunker shot like that. It means the world. I'm absolutely speechless. It was a grind today, but he was unbelievable and I could not be more proud." That's all for now. We'll have more later. These are your latest sports news headlines. I'm Alex Jack. Well, we start with the football headlines on this Monday morning, and Tottenham Hotspur have had a significant blow with the news that Netherlands attacking midfielder Xavi Simons has been ruled out for the rest of the season and this summer's World Cup due to a knee injury. Simons was carried off on a stretcher in the second half of Tottenham's 1-0 victory against Wolverhampton Wanderers at Molineux on Saturday. That was with the reports he may have suffered an anterior cruciate ligament injury. The 23-year-old fell to the ground after a collision with Wolves defender Hugo Bueno, and it has now been confirmed that his season is over and he won't be featuring at the World Cup. Well, this is what Simons has written on social media. "They say life can be cruel, and today it feels that way. My season has come to an abrupt end and I'm just trying to process it. Honestly, I'm heartbroken. None of it makes sense." We're moving on to the Scottish Premiership title race, and Hearts took another step closer towards the Scottish crown after a 2-1 victory against Hibernian on Sunday. A feisty Edinburgh derby, 2 red cards for Hibs in that game, but Hearts going on to claim the victory thanks to a late goal from Blair Spittle. Meanwhile, at Ibrox, Rangers' hopes of winning the title took a significant blow after a 3-2 home defeat at the hands of Motherwell. Well, just to look at the table, Hearts top of the standings, 73 points. Celtic in second place on 70 points, and Rangers just a point further behind on 69 points following that defeat to the Steelmen. Meanwhile, there's one game taking place in the Premier League on Monday night as Manchester United hope to take another step closer to securing Champions League football as they prepare to host Brentford at Old Trafford. 8 o'clock kickoff for that one in Manchester. Moving on finally to golf news now, and Alex and Matt Fitzpatrick made history by becoming the first brothers to win a PGA Tour event at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans pairs tournament. The English brothers started the final round with a 4-shot lead. That was after setting a tournament record on Saturday, but they struggled to find their rhythm in the final round and had to endure a nervy finish, but in the end coming out on top. And this is what Alex Fitzpatrick had to say after the final hole. He says, "It won't sink in. It's amazing to be here with my mum and dad. It's a lot of hard work and I can't believe we've done it. It's as good as it gets." Well, Matt Fitzpatrick had this to add. "It was a struggle. I was doing zero to help him, but he was fantastic on the back nine. I said, just give us a chance on the last to hit a bunker shot like that. It means the world. I'm absolutely speechless. It was a grind today, but he was unbelievable and I could not be more proud." That's all for now. We'll have more later. These are your latest sports news headlines. I'm Alex Jack. Well, we start with the football headlines on this Monday morning, and Tottenham Hotspur have had a significant blow with the news that Netherlands attacking midfielder Xavi Simons has been ruled out for the rest of the season and this summer's World Cup due to a knee injury. Simons was carried off on a stretcher in the second half of Tottenham's 1-0 victory against Wolverhampton Wanderers at Molineux on Saturday. That was with the reports he may have suffered an anterior cruciate ligament injury. The 23-year-old fell to the ground after a collision with Wolves defender Hugo Bueno, and it has now been confirmed that his season is over and he won't be featuring at the World Cup. Well, this is what Simons has written on social media. "They say life can be cruel, and today it feels that way. My season has come to an abrupt end and I'm just trying to process it. Honestly, I'm heartbroken. None of it makes sense." We're moving on to the Scottish Premiership title race, and Hearts took another step closer towards the Scottish crown after a 2-1 victory against Hibernian on Sunday. A feisty Edinburgh derby, 2 red cards for Hibs in that game, but Hearts going on to claim the victory thanks to a late goal from Blair Spittle. Meanwhile, at Ibrox, Rangers' hopes of winning the title took a significant blow after a 3-2 home defeat at the hands of Motherwell. Well, just to look at the table, Hearts top of the standings, 73 points. Celtic in second place on 70 points, and Rangers just a point further behind on 69 points following that defeat to the Steelmen. Meanwhile, there's one game taking place in the Premier League on Monday night as Manchester United hope to take another step closer to securing Champions League football as they prepare to host Brentford at Old Trafford. 8 o'clock kickoff for that one in Manchester. Moving on finally to golf news now, and Alex and Matt Fitzpatrick made history by becoming the first brothers to win a PGA Tour event at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans pairs tournament. The English brothers started the final round with a 4-shot lead. That was after setting a tournament record on Saturday, but they struggled to find their rhythm in the final round and had to endure a nervy finish, but in the end coming out on top. And this is what Alex Fitzpatrick had to say after the final hole. He says, "It won't sink in. It's amazing to be here with my mum and dad. It's a lot of hard work and I can't believe we've done it. It's as good as it gets." Well, Matt Fitzpatrick had this to add. "It was a struggle. I was doing zero to help him, but he was fantastic on the back nine. I said, just give us a chance on the last to hit a bunker shot like that. It means the world. I'm absolutely speechless. It was a grind today, but he was unbelievable and I could not be more proud." That's all for now. We'll have more later. These are your latest sports news headlines. I'm Alex Jack. Well, we start with the football headlines on this Monday morning, and Tottenham Hotspur have had a significant blow with the news that Netherlands attacking midfielder Xavi Simons has been ruled out for the rest of the season and this summer's World Cup due to a knee injury. Simons was carried off on a stretcher in the second half of Tottenham's 1-0 victory against Wolverhampton Wanderers at Molineux on Saturday. That was with the reports he may have suffered an anterior cruciate ligament injury. The 23-year-old fell to the ground after a collision with Wolves defender Hugo Bueno, and it has now been confirmed that his season is over and he won't be featuring at the World Cup. Well, this is what Simons has written on social media. "They say life can be cruel, and today it feels that way. My season has come to an abrupt end and I'm just trying to process it. Honestly, I'm heartbroken. None of it makes sense." We're moving on to the Scottish Premiership title race, and Hearts took another step closer towards the Scottish crown after a 2-1 victory against Hibernian on Sunday. A feisty Edinburgh derby, 2 red cards for Hibs in that game, but Hearts going on to claim the victory thanks to a late goal from Blair Spittle. Meanwhile, at Ibrox, Rangers' hopes of winning the title took a significant blow after a 3-2 home defeat at the hands of Motherwell. Well, just to look at the table, Hearts top of the standings, 73 points. Celtic in second place on 70 points, and Rangers just a point further behind on 69 points following that defeat to the Steelmen. Meanwhile, there's one game taking place in the Premier League on Monday night as Manchester United hope to take another step closer to securing Champions League football as they prepare to host Brentford at Old Trafford. 8 o'clock kickoff for that one in Manchester. Moving on finally to golf news now, and Alex and Matt Fitzpatrick made history by becoming the first brothers to win a PGA Tour event at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans pairs tournament. The English brothers started the final round with a 4-shot lead. That was after
4 minutes in. Manchester United 0, Brentford 0, and a third corner for the Red Devils already. Brian Mbeumo on this right hand side will prepare to swing the corner in. Plenty to aim for inside the area. As he steps up, swings his left boot at the ball towards the front post again. It's away this time from Coyote. Bruno Fernandes keeps it alive as he finds Dalot centrally. He loops one over towards the far side. This one's a little bit better as he finds Diallo into the area from him towards the penalty spot away from Collins. Fernandes again slips, manages to regain his footing, drops it onto his left. Outside the area, tries to find Shaw, just about does. He has to squeak it back to halfway for Dalot though. And now here's Amad Diallo down the line to Casemiro. He moves it infield to Shaw. First time low ball into the area only finds Utara. Forward he comes with the ball. Great pace to steam away from a couple in Manchester United red. It's actually Sharda, and it's Shaw who brings him down, and that's the first yellow card of the evening. Chris Kavanagh gone to his book for Luke Shaw. Yellow card.
Yeah, what a great run from Kevin Sharda. Picked it up on the edge of his own penalty area. He thought about maybe a long ball just to clear his lines, but he thought, no, we're going to carry it out ourselves. We're going to try and mount an attack. It's his 7th yellow card of the season for Luke Shaw. He's hurt his hand in that challenge with Sharda as well. He keeps almost flexing his fingers. I'm not sure what maybe happened in that tussle, but yeah, first real positive from a Brentford player so far. Like I said, they've not got going yet, but they've whipped a ball in near the area.
Here's Lewis Potter. Tries to find Collins on the left. Does well to keep it in on this near side. Now Lewis Potter once more. That's a better ball in towards the back stick as Shaw leaves it for what he thought was going out for a goal kick. Damsgaard actually made contact with the ball, but his play back into the area only finds the side netting. 6 minutes in, Manchester United 0, Brentford 0. As quick as the start has been, it means I haven't been able to confirm the changes and lineups for you. I can do that now though with this Manchester United goal kick. Michael Carrick has made 2 changes to a side that beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge by 1-0. The goal from Cunha, their only shot on target in that game. Mazraoui drops to the bench as Harry Maguire returns to the starting 11. Cunha was injured in that one, so he's swapped out for Diallo, who of course has had the biggest chance of the game so far. Patrick Dorgu returns to the squad. He's on the bench, been out since January with an injury. Brentford have stolen the ball back on halfway. Utara forward to Damsgaard, back to Utara, beats Menu for pace, still going here. Utara towards the edge of the box. Menu's done really well though to track back and win the ball. Not known for his pace, Kobe Menu. But he's done well there, and oh wow as well, because here is Mbeumo down the right hand side. Great ball to him, tried to sweep it across into the area. Still Mbeumo, got 2 to beat, tries to get the cross in, corner.
That ball from Bruno Fernandes in the build-up where I said, oh wow, that's what it was at. He's just phased the ball first time in behind over the top. You couldn't have played that any better. I mean, that is an unbelievable ball from Bruno Fernandes. Diagonal across towards Brian Mbeumo. The perfect one for him to run onto, take it into his stride. I think he was a little bit uncomfortable because he was going on his right foot. Ball whipped in again. Harry Maguire with the header. What a save that is from Kelleher, who almost claws it from behind him. Unbelievable reflexes from the Irish goalkeeper. Harry Maguire inches away from giving Man United the lead, but what a save.
Yeah, they took the corner short there, Manchester United, down this right-hand side. Caught everyone off guard. But Kareem Kelleher not caught off guard. 8 minutes in, Manchester United 0, Brentford 0. The visitors, by the way, Keith Andrews makes no changes for the 3rd game in a row. 0-0 draw against Fulham last time out for them. The only notable change in the squad is Josh De Silva has returned to the bench. It's been 817 days since his last Premier League appearance. A knee injury kept him out for that period, including, of course, the entire previous campaign. Here's Kobe Menu, started like a house on fire, forward towards the edge of his own area for Casemiro. He goes round the corner to Bruno Fernandes, nearly has his pocket picked. That leads to a 50-50, which Heaven wins, and both players come out okay, but it's Brentford who pick up the loose ball. Here's Jensen, couple of turns just inside opposition territory, then a sprayed ball out towards that far side, looking for Coyote, headed down though by Diallo, cleared into the sky by Maguire. Diallo once again on halfway. He's supported by Sesko, who makes a run in front of him, just taken off the toes though of the Ivorian by the recovering Van den Berg. And the Bees will come away with the ball. Manchester United 0, Brentford 0, 9 minutes in. Here's Damsgaard. And I brought you the changes. I can bring you the lineups. Lemons in goal for Manchester United. Dallo, Maguire, Heaven, and the already yellow carded Shaw at the back. Menu, Casemiro, Fernandes in midfield. Diallo, Mbeumo, and Sesko in the front line. Brentford have Kelleher between the sticks, who's already denied Harry Maguire from close distance. Coyote, Van den Berg, who cleared one off the line already for Brentford. Collins and Lewis Potter at the back. It's 5 in midfield. Yarmulke, Damsgaard, and Jensen centrally. Sharda and Utara out wide, with Igor Thiago, the league's 2nd highest goal scorer so far this season, up top. 10 minutes in. Manchester United with 2 big chances already. We've seen a little bit of a fight back from Brentford already.
Yeah, we are. We're just starting to see them wanting those more touches on the ball. They still look pretty sloppy though. As I say that, Lewis Potter gives the ball away as well. Ball in behind him. Mbeumo's going to get there. Yeah,
here he is, right hand side into the box. It's a tight angle. It's against him. Ball into the area is blocked by Collins. It's going to be a 5th corner of the game. And we've only played 10 minutes. Manchester United 0, Brentford 0.
Yeah, and it's Brentford again, sloppy in possession. We're going to see how close this initial chance was close to crossing the line. I tell you what, that is a lot closer than we thought on initial viewing. Over 50% of the ball is over the line from that header. It's a bullet header. I mean, there's not much more he could do, really, Harry Maguire. It is just an unbelievable save. He's clawed it out. Cat-like reflexes from Kelleher. This opened in 10 minutes. I'm really surprised as to how quick Manchester United have actually started, with them being in quite a comfortable Champions League spot, but they're well and truly up for this. The quietest man for them so far. Sesko's not really had a touch.
Ball into the area from Fernandes towards the back stick. Maguire wins the header, but it's looping towards the back post. There's Casemiro. It's 1-0 to Manchester United. And you can't say it hasn't been coming, and there's no real surprise in the goal scorer either. The Brazilian is now on 9 for the season. It's Casemiro from Maguire after Fernandes' corner kick. It's 3 players who have been instrumental to Michael Carrick's side this season. 11 minutes in, Manchester United 1, Brentford 0.
Yeah, Brentford usually so much better at dealing with set pieces, aren't they? Because they're quite a tall physical side, but that's another set piece that's caused them all sorts of problems. And this one has definitely being worked on from the training ground. And Casemiro, who's of course announced that he'll be leaving in the summer, well, he's probably having the season not of his life, because obviously he was fantastic with Real Madrid, a big part of their success in Europe, but definitely his best season in my opinion at Manchester United. We see it back, he's onside. It's I wouldn't necessarily class it as lazy defending. The Brentford players don't really have much time to react and maybe push out a little bit, but I mean, the marking on Harry Maguire initially is really poor, because yes, by the time he actually heads it, Vandenberg's near him. It's almost a desperate lunge with Vandenberg not even being anywhere near the ball. Nobody marking him. It was really poor, switched off completely, one from the training ground, and it's worked. And like you said, weirdly, it's not that much of a surprise it's Casemiro on the score sheet. See, he scores all the time, it seems, these days.
Yeah, you would think that Brentford would be feeling in that situation, Kieran, that it's job done as they see it looping towards Maguire, the sort of position that he's in. It's not as if he's ever going to flick it towards goal with any sort of threat in terms of scoring a goal, but it's almost like an alley-oop in basketball from Maguire as he lays it up for Casemiro. It's, you know, it's watch this hand, because with the other one he's going to do the danger. That's what's happened there. Maguire loops it back into Casemiro, who's in a much better position. And it's their 20th Premier League goal this season from set pieces as well. Only Arsenal have scored more.
Yeah, exactly. They've looked dangerous. They deserve the lead, don't they? It really does reflect the scoreline on how the game's actually been. Even Brentford now, in a moment where it should just be simple passes, they're a little bit overhit or underhit, some loose touches. Even this one to Nathan Collins, he's taking it down, but it's a heavy ball into him. Brentford just need to settle, which they haven't been able to do so far.
Utara out towards the right hand side for Kyoto, and now safe possession on halfway. Manchester United 1, Brentford 0. If you're just joining us, 13 minutes into the game, Casemiro scored for Manchester United just a couple of minutes ago. Here's Lewis Potter though, trying to immediately reply for Keith Andrews' side. Goes one way then the other. Ball into the area is blocked by Casemiro. Drops for Damsgaard on the corner of the box on the left hand side. Could be Menu flicks it off his toes, but only as far as Jensen. Now Lewis Potter, the former Hull City man, goes back to Jensen. The Dane moves it forward to his countryman. And Mikael Damsgaard turns on the ball. About 50 yards from goal, Damsgaard. No real danger, no real threat at the moment for Brentford. Here's Collins to his right, back towards the centre circle for Van den Berg. Now forward to Damsgaard, round the corner. This is good from Brentford, but not penetrating the Manchester United backline just yet. Here's Coyote, right hand side, chops in field, trying to get away from the already booked Luke Shaw. Now here is Utara on the far right hand side, swings a ball into the area which looked a dangerous one. It takes a touch off a Manchester United head after 5 corners for Manchester United already. This is Brentford's first.
Yeah, let's see if Brentford can cause the problems that the Red Devils have been doing so far. Just glances off the head of Harry Maguire, doesn't get too much contact on it. The cameras linger on Igor Thiago, who's not got involved in this game as of yet. Not necessarily his fault. He's very much a striker where his only real involvement in games, well, especially as of late, is just when he's in the box, scoring goals. He doesn't really get too involved in the build-up play, etc. He's currently in the back of the net, waiting for this corner to be whipped in.
There is plenty of pushing and shoving, by the way, in the 6-yard box. So much so that I'm not surprised at all Chris Kavanagh's told the corner taker to wait. Well, our colleague John likes to use the word schmozzle. I don't exactly know what it means, but it fits this,
well,
I think.
He uses all sorts of words, doesn't he? But that was weird. Van den Berg and Kevin Schade ran at the back of the net, trying to cross paths. and they knocked each other over and knocked Chada into the back of the net. Like he lost his balance. That was a random one, but the corner's been whipped in.
Yeah, towards the front post, away though by Casemiro. The delivery's on the whole not been brilliant, despite there being a goal from one of them from Casemiro. Here's Utara on the poor clearance, forward towards the left, and it's 3-on-1 on this left-hand side, across by Lewis Potter, and it could have been tapped in by Thiago. It's overhit though and past him. He wants a corner. The Brazilian was steaming in at that back post where most of the Manchester United defenders were. No one towards this left-hand side. Potentially chance wasted.
Yeah, it is. Wasn't sure if Luke Shaw got a slight touch on it, which put off Igor Thiago. We're going to see a great close-up of it. He misses the ball, but I tell you what, he does just enough, doesn't he, Luke Shaw, in the sense that that lunge just takes Thiago's eye off the ball. He goes a little bit behind him. He oversteps his run, really, Thiago, but the ball from Ouattara into Lewis Potter, a little reverse pass into the bit of space on the left-hand side, that was really clever from the Burkina Faso international. First real positive signs of the game over the last couple of minutes for Brentford. Man United under a bit of pressure at the back, but they deal with it.
Yeah, Maguire's able to clear it away. 16 minutes gone, Manchester United 1, Brentford 0. Really good start to the game from Michael Carrick's side. He'll be delighted with the way that this one's going, especially because their last game at Old Trafford, they started really, really poorly. Quite the opposite. Leeds United got the better of them in that first half. It was 2-1 in the end, a little tighter than I think Daniel Farke would have wanted, but it's been better from Carrick's side. Here's Keen Lewis Potter. Ball into the area towards this left-hand side. Coyote's on it. Gets the shot away. Is it taking a touch from the goalkeeper? It has. That's twice in 2 minutes now, Kieran. There's been absolutely no one in that right-back slot, and Brentford have nearly caused them a problem or two. It's going to be a corner.
Yeah, Diogo Dalot just getting caught out, but that ball into Coyote is a really good little reverse pass again. Just seeing the chance again. It's a really good save in the end, isn't it, from St. Lamans. Coyote was frustrated with someone. The camera panned to him where he's frustrated with the player. It may even be Thiago who moaned for not playing the pass. But yeah, good opportunity. That is a really good save from the Menz, who's been a good addition so far, hasn't he? This season's really made them solid at the back.
Yeah, it's just balanced out a little bit now, this game. 17.5 minutes gone. Corner for Brentford on the far right-hand side. Again, there's a melee inside the 6-yard box as the corner comes in. Again, it's poor. It's away from Dalot. Picked up now, though, by Yarmouk. Touches not the greatest. Finds Ouattara. He swings a ball in high, lofted towards the back stick. Collins lets it run. It's going to fall for Lewis Potter, who just keeps it in on the left-hand side. Curling ball towards the back stick. It's flicked away by Manchester United, but only as far as Jensen now for Brentford. He holds off Amad Diallo. The Ivorian, though, uses his pace to get round the Dane, and Casemiro sends it back for a 1-2. Diallo goes long looking for Seshko. He's in a foot race with Coyote. Just gets there in front of the Italian. Then he'll have the task of holding him and Collins up. He's done brilliantly to roll it through the Irishman's leg, but Coyote is there to sweep things up. 18 minutes gone. What a brilliant game we've got on our hands at Old Trafford, and it's not done yet, this attack, because here come Brentford. Here's Lewis Potter. Left-hand side, just slows things down and then goes back towards halfway. Now here's Damsgaard. Brentford, 5 draws in a row before this one. The joint longest run in the Premier League since 2009. Goes back to Jensen here from Lewis Potter. Jensen's got time to loop a ball in towards the back stick. Coyote wins the header. Can't find his teammate though, and it's away. Now here's Diallo. Only really got 2 options in front of him. One of them is Bruno Fernandes. He plays it towards the right-hand side for Mbeumo. Still inside their own half though are the Red Devils, and they'll put a foot on the ball and just slow things down. I think from their perspective they could do with a little bit of a lull.
Yeah, they could. Manchester United just need to settle down again after taking the lead. They were brilliant the opening maybe 10, 11, 12 minutes. So ever since they've taken the lead, it has just been Brentford. That is usually kind of just the trend that happens, the trajectory of what happens in football. If you score a goal, you just take your foot off the ball a little bit. You don't have the urge to really keep going, and Bruno Fernandes tries a bit of a back heel, doesn't come off. If Thiago's onside, there could be a chance for Brentford.
Yeah, right-hand side, not where you want him. You want him in the area. Plays it back to Yarmouk. It's going to come for the Brazilian with the 1-2. Then it's into the box towards a back sit where Schade is. Wins his header down towards the edge of the area. Jensen picks it up from Damsgaard. Now here's Lewis Potter. 20 minutes gone. Still 1-0 to the hosts. Here's Jensen round the corner to Lewis Potter. Again, it's poor defending from Dalot as a shot comes in. It's a soft curler though towards the gloves of Lamens. And it's a comfortable save in the end.
Yeah, simple save. You'd be worried if he doesn't make it. But once again, it's just those clever passes. Almost the spaces for Brentford in attack, the spaces in between Maguire and Dalot at the moment, a little gap that they're both leaving each other. They're way too almost far apart, not as solid on that side of Manchester United at the moment. You can tell Brentford have sensed that because they keep trying to attack it.
Jensen, far side for Utara, takes it on his chest, shows too much to Shaw, who steals it away from him. He moves it laterally for Kobbie Mainoo. Couple of touches from him, then just slows things down once again. Brentford without a win since February. I mentioned the 5 draws in a row, including 3 0-0s, by the way. They didn't trail in any of those draws. They're trailing this evening, though. It's Manchester United 1, Brentford 0. Casemiro's goal after 11 minutes. Here's Bruno Fernandes, right-hand side for Bremo. He's got the defender one-on-one, then Schade comes to double up. Fernandes into the area first time, so over everyone's head. Diallo tries to keep it in. He's unable to. It's out for a goal kick. We haven't seen much of Manchester United since that opening goal. It's been a very good response from Brentford.
Yeah, it has. Good response from them, creating a couple of chances. They've had 2 shots so far in this one, but they're also getting into dangerous areas, which is important. That's the positive. The Brentford fans, staff, players involved so far will be thinking, right, there's goals in this game for us. It's just about, well, really creating a couple of chances for that main man who up front, who's on 21 goals this season. Yet he's yet to have a goal scoring opportunity. Of course, was thrown off by that late lunge from Luke Shaw, but hasn't technically had a chance.
Ball is with Brentford just inside their own half. Into the centre circle now from Jensen to Yarmulke to Keen-Lewis Potter on the left hand side. Just got the other side of Bryan Mbeumo. He moves it backwards for Damsgaard, and Yarmulke again. The sea of red though in front of Brentford Bees as Collins has it. Now here's Jensen, seen probably more of the ball than anyone on the pitch so far. 22 minutes in, still 1-0 to Manchester United. Utara tries to touch it round Luke Shaw. It falls for Yarmulke, who attempts to beat a couple in red. It's won back though by Casemiro. Forward to Sk. He's fouled. That'll be a free kick to Manchester United. And they can put a foot on the ball and relax. They only need 5 points before today's fixture to qualify for next season's UEFA Champions League. Brentford, as I mentioned in the preamble before the game started, 9th in the Premier League coming into today. Just 1 point off 7th, which is of the current Conference League place. 2 points off 6th, which is of course the current Europa League. And then 10 points off 5th, the Champions League of course. So both sides with European aspirations. Manchester United looking to return to the Champions League, and they're doing a pretty good job this evening. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Forward to Diallo. Brentford looking a little stretched in midfield. Diallo has to hold it up though because he's got no real support. Here comes the overlap from Bruno Fernandes. Still Diallo though, hits one. It's over the bar. It's a wasted run from Bruno Fernandes, and it will be a goal kick to Brentford. We are a quarter of the way through the game. 23 minutes gone already. It's Manchester United 1, Brentford 0. And I'll hand over to Kieran to take you through to full time, to half time. Sorry.
Yeah, as we just see it back again, it was a bit of a decoy run, wasn't it, from Bruno Fernandes? I think they were both on the same wavelength with that. Actually, I think it was always going to be Amad Diallo just to drive and either go to the other side or take a shot on himself. It's a really poor shot to see. It's at quite a nice angle on his left boot to maybe hook it across the face of goal, but a really poor effort from Diallo in the end. But we now see Collins in possession. He finds Lewis Potter, ball on the left-hand side for Shadows, and a little bit of pressure. He tries to root that away from his man, takes a heavy touch, and that's much better from Manchester United. It's quick with the ball at feet. Casemiro's going to hit one from distance. The shot was that poor that Vandenberg could have almost just brought it down himself in the block and carry it forwards. But even Brentford trying to deal with it looked a bit shaky, but they have the ball back.
Yeah, he should stick to heading, shouldn't he, Casemiro? That effort, not the greatest, but yeah, Brentford, so weird, isn't it? Because around sort of the 5 minutes of the goal, they look really nervy, and now they look like they're just moving the ball so comfortably, but even then, a slight bit of nervousness in that play.
Yeah, and here's Kevin Schade on the attack. A nice fizz ball into him from Damsgaard. Now it's going to be Jensen who finds Damsgaard again, opens it up onto his right foot. Can he create a chance? He plays it to the right for Ouattara, looks across the face of goal. I thought he maybe could have taken his time a little bit more there. He had a lot of space. Ouattara, it was cleared only as far as Damsgaard. Casemiro lunges in. He gets a good challenge in as well as Sk tries to clear his lines. Damsgaard gets there, goes down, no free kick given in the end as Collins comes across to win his header and heads it out for a throw-in. Very scrappy over the last couple of minutes. Brentford's still pretty sloppy with possession themselves. Keith Andrews will know that there's a good opportunity today for Brentford because it feels like they're getting in good areas. They just can't really make it count. They're a side that enjoy playing away from home at the moment, unbeaten in the last 5 away games. You can see when they get into attack, they play with some real confidence. Just need to create a bit more.
Yeah, they've been a bit goal shy recently. I mentioned the 5 draws. They only scored 4 goals in the previous 5 games. Only Chelsea and Burnley have scored fewer, and of course we know the run that Chelsea have been on in the Premier League, so they have been a little bit goal shy. I think the positive though is for Manchester United, only the bottom 2 have kept fewer clean sheets than they have this season, so Brentford have got a chance.
Yeah, just see Coyote battling with Kobe Mainoo. Free kicks being given seemed a little bit soft to me. Did that one? Kobe Mainoo was it was on him, but that's just what you have to do when you're pressuring a player. It didn't feel like he'd overstepped the mark. I think he was maybe making that point to the referee himself. As we see Collins now in possession. Goes all the way back to Kelleher. He was under no real pressure so far from the likes of Sk or Bruno Fernandes. It's going to be Jensen now in possession. He's seen a lot of the ball, hasn't he? The Danish international likes to get on it. As we see Yamoliuk. He's going to potentially play it to the right-hand side. Turns away, finds Jensen instead. Straight through the centre. Onto the right-hand side for Wataru, who's must be marked by 3 players there, as he has to be forced all the way back into their own half. Vandenberg into Damsgaard, who's starting to get more involved himself. Jensen again, the 2 Danish players linking up. Now it's with Collins. He's got space on the left for Lewis Potter if he can find him. He can. He's up against the former Brentford man, Brian Mbeumo. Lewis Potter cuts inside, finds Damsgaard, checks away from Casemiro, back onto his right, then onto his left. There's no forward option still though, as Jensen picks it up. He's got space on the left-hand side to find Damsgaard, in towards Collins. Damsgaard again, in possession, finds Jensen. He's going to look for a ball down the left-hand side for Lewis Potter, who can get there. It's a sliding challenge from Dallo. He gets a slight touch on it. Lewis Potter with a little bit of fortune, getting away from Casemiro. He wins the corner in the end. Well, he took a risk, didn't he? Diogo Dallo sliding across. He got a slight touch on it, like I said, but it almost took it more into Lewis Potter's stride rather than it going out of play or it being a clean tackle. But a corner coming up. Yeah,
it hasn't started that well, has he, Diogo Dallo? Most of the attacks have been down this left for Brentford. I think the reason why is because he's a little bit isolated. You can see Harry Maguire's sort of doing a man-on-man job with Igor Thiago. It's clearly Michael Carrick doesn't want Thiago playing off the less experienced Aiden Heaven, and that is just resulting in a little bit of a gap, as you say, in that back line, particularly on the right-hand side.
Yeah, it certainly is. And once again, a corner coming up for Brentford. A lot of players lurking around the back post this time. Instead of almost reversing with each other in the back of the net, as we see this corner whipped in, as expected, towards the back to a smaller player though in Lewis Potter, who gets there. He then goes for goal. It's well blocked away. It's still in the area. Thiago gives a nudge, and that's a silly free kick to give away from Thiago, but it fell to Lewis Potter with the chance, but it just felt like there was too many red shirts to get it through.
Yeah, you mentioned it fell to one of the shorter players in Lewis Potter, but of course he's been marked by Amad Diallo, so oh yeah, there's a nasty one. It's actually Diallo on shore, isn't it, his own man, but yeah, it's the height difference is still there. Lewis Potter's taller than Diallo, so it's a smart move really from Brentford to target him at the back. But yeah, it's a nasty one, that on shore, but it's his own man to blame.
Yeah, he's been in the wall so far, Luke Shaw. He's had a couple situations. He had that hand knocked to his hand, his fingers in the start of the game from a tussle with Kevin Schade. 29 minutes on the clock though, if you are just tuning in. Is Manchester United 1, Brentford 0. Flicked on by Casemiro, just evades Benjamin Sesko. He's a player that seems to be struggling to get up to speed with this game at the moment.
Yeah, I think he's made some good runs though, Kieran. He's just not been found, I think, because they're attacking in decent numbers, Manchester United, so there's always another option, but he is drawing defenders away.
Yes, and that's Mbeumo on the right hand side, cuts onto his stronger left foot. He thought about a switch play to the left hand side, but Coyote was pretty touch tight with Amad Diallo. We now see Aiden Heaven, whose name we haven't mentioned much so far in this one. Bruno Fernandes lays it off for Diogo Dallo, the 2 Portuguese internationals linking up, as we now see Harry Maguire. They're just going to take the time in possession. A real press on them at the moment from Brentford. Of course, a win today for Brentford would be vital, would put them into those European spots Everton losing at the weekend. Chelsea not being in action either, but maybe their form can change now after they've just got a victory at Wembley.
Yeah, I think maybe the Champions League's a little bit out of sight for Brentford, but we were talking before the game started just how tight it is sort of from 6th down, isn't it? There's so many teams that could make a run, and it's anyone's guess really as to who gets the Europa League and the Conference League places.
There it is. As you see, Harry Maguire, it's probably going to go down to the wire, isn't it? Quite a lot of the situations, but this is lovely football from Man United. Then it's the wrong pass from Casemiro, but he makes up for his mistake. Sesko finds Bruno Fernandes, hangs him towards the back post. There's Amad Diallo with a header straight at the goalkeeper. He may have been offside. I'm not sure if the flag goes up in the end, but it's not a great header. And like I said, it kind of just comes from just behind the Brentford man. Maybe it put him off a little bit going in for that chance, but it's lovely play again from Man United. Yeah,
it's all about the ball in from me, and it's Bruno Fernandes. Of course it is, Kieran. 18 assists in the Premier League this season is phenomenal numbers, isn't it? Only Kevin De Bruyne has scored more, assisted more in a single campaign for Manchester City with 20, I believe, off the top of my head. But yeah, it's a brilliant ball in from the Portuguese international in towards that far post. Probably unexpected, really, wasn't it? Because it was right under his feet. He just dinked it out towards Diallo, who would have done well, I think, to score from there.
Yeah, and he was offside anyway, so even if he did score, wouldn't have counted. That's a great challenge, though, from Casemiro. And here comes Bruno Fernandes on the counter-attack. He has Mbeumo to the right, doesn't use him, goes to the left. He picks the wrong pass in the end, intercepted well by Coyote. Brian Mbeumo a little bit frustrated with his teammate. I think he's maybe got every right to be. I think Bruno Fernandes held onto it for way too long. Maybe tried to be a bit more unpredictable with the counter-attack, but good opportunity there.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's on the break. The game's been so back and forth. Manchester United on top with a poor Brentford start, got their goal. Then it's been the Bees that have been better. But then in the last sort of maybe 8 minutes or so, Manchester United have come roaring back, and they look likely to get a second. As you say, just chose the wrong option and maybe held on to it too long.
Yeah, and here's Damsgaard now balling behind, looking for Thiago. He gets a touch on it, but he's on full stretch, so it just bounces behind for a goal kick. Another promising counter-attack in terms of their actual use of space. Like we keep saying from Brentford, they're getting in really good areas, really key areas. Just the final ball, the final getting your shot off, it's just not going for them. But you can really use that as positives. I mean, Damsgaard's starting to get a lot more involved.
Yeah, and we've not even seen anything of Ouattara. I mean, if you said after 33 minutes Brentford have looked most dangerous when they've been on the counter, you would think, oh, they must be playing it over the top to their paciest player. He's not really been in the game at all. As you say, it's been the right passes at the right times and making use of the space really, really well. As you say, it's just that final third. I mentioned their low scorers, only scored 4 goals in their previous 5. 3 0-0s recently. Shows you exactly what you need to know there.
Here's now see Kelleher. He switched it to the right-hand side. It evades everybody. Header well won by a free Luke Shaw, but Kobbie Mainoo takes too long in possession. Ouattara takes touch, tries to put it through the legs of Luke Shaw, but the fullback's there to deal with it. Jensen then clips a lovely ball to the left-hand side for Lewis Potter, who takes it nicely. He's up 1v1 against Dalot. Step overs, cuts inside. Little dinked pass into Damsgaard, lays it off for Jensen, who's in a lot of space himself. He checks onto his left, lunging challenge from Casemiro, but the attack's still alive for the Bees. We now see Lewis Potter pretty central with Jensen on the left-hand side at the moment. Damsgaard cuts in, wants a bit of movement, doesn't get it, plays a nice ball into Coyote on the edge of the penalty area. Poor final touch from him, and Kobbie Mainoo steps in for another challenge in this one, and then he finds it to the left-hand side. Diallo picks a nice ball for Bruno Fernandes, and he's central. Here they come on the counter-attack again. Manchester United, he takes his time, Bruno Fernandes, just to slow things down, and Coyote's gone chasing all the way to the left-hand side. Man United don't capitalise on it, and now they do finally switch it to the left, but really can't play from Carrick's side just to make sure they keep possession there. Of course, they do have the lead. Don't have to take too many risks at this stage of the game. So now see Mainoo finds Harry Maguire. It's going to be Aidan Heaven now. He's got options central in towards Sesko. He plays a really poor pass intercepted by Damsgaard. Collins into Vandenberg. He plays a risky ball into Jensen as well, almost under hit, but Jensen meets it before Bruno Fernandes. Here's Ouattara now, who you think would have the better of Luke Shaw in a game like this. As I say that, he finally does get the better of him, and this is lovely football from Brentford, and it's Thiago in on goal with a great chance. He stutters, he doesn't get his shot off, he's still there, he still can't get his shot off, and what on earth has Igor Thiago just done? What a chance, he threw on goal with the goalkeeper. He never gets his shot off, which allows the defenders to recover. The football's brilliant. Why is he not shot? He takes a touch and then he falls over as he takes the extra touch. It almost bundles off Aiden Heaven and goes into the back of the net. The goalkeeper claims it. Why has he not gone for goal? It would have been a tap-in.
Yeah, that is bizarre, isn't it? I mean, it's brilliant football up until that point, Kieran, by Brentford. And again, there's just a gap in the back line from Manchester United. I said that Maguire was doing a job on Thiago. He's marking him one-on-one, and that was allowing other players to find space. Well, he was nowhere to be seen there, Maguire. He just found some room himself, the Brazilian. And it's a great ball to him as well. Essentially, as you mentioned, Ouattara had shrugged off two challenges. He had Shaw on one side, and was it Mainu maybe on the other? And he just put both his arms out and pushed them away. Burst through the centre. Great ball through the lines to Thiago. He should just take a touch and hit it, or just allow it to roll and then hit it. I've no idea what he's doing there.
Yeah, that is, like you said, just completely bizarre. A man who's been scoring those all season, 21 goals, but never gets his shot off. And then when he does cut inside, he trips over, but another ball in behind finds him, and he's going to get another chance in the penalty area this time. What a challenge that is from Aiden Heaven. And once again, Thiago doesn't get his shot off. And once again, Aiden Heaven almost scores an own goal, but it's because of a brilliant challenge. He slides in on Thiago. The tackle almost goes in. It's a great save, isn't it, from Lamens? He has to almost react to it unexpectedly, but Thiago, once again, he's just way too hesitant.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it, from Heaven. Eventually he catches Thiago up, who, as you say, just takes too long. I mean, a player of his experience, 21 goals as well in this Premier League campaign, you would think that he would be have a little bit more nous in terms of, holding Heaven off, make sure he can't make that challenge, get your shot away. But maybe he was rattled a little bit by that miss just a minute ago.
Yeah, corner whipped into a really poor one from Ouattara. And how on earth have Brentford not even got a shot off over these last few minutes? And it does just show they're just not creating the chances, but they've had the best chance of the game, and they don't even get a shot to show for it from Igor Thiago. As you now see Lewis Potter, he plays a risky ball to his own fullback Coyote, but he gets there, just completely eats up the turf in front of Brian Mbeumo. Gets there way before him, as we now see Molly up, but Brentford well on top now. Yeah,
they are. Again, momentum swings, and it's gone to the visitors, hasn't it, this time for this 5-minute period, or we'll see how long it lasts. But yeah, I mean, they really should be level, shouldn't they, Brentford? 2 big chances in front of goal, which, as you say, I don't think has actually technically resulted in a shot on the stats. It should be 1-1.
Yeah, it really should be. What a chance Igor Thiago did have moments ago. We now see Kevin Schade looks to turn away from his man. He finds Damsgaard, who, like we said, the number 24 for Brentford, seeing a lot of the ball. He stabs it to the left-hand side. Schade's going to get there with his pace, just about keeps it in play. Dallo is over to meet him. Lewis Potter finds Damsgaard again. He looks for a ball to the edge of the box, but it's well cleared away by Luke Shaw. He's been very, very busy so far. He's probably been a lot more successful than his fellow fullback Diogo Dallo. Damsgaard then whips in a really dangerous ball across the face of goal. What a save! What a save that is from Lamens. Is it? What did it come off Thiago, who's laughing? And that's probably a laugh of, oh yeah, it's one of those days so far. If Thiago gets that shot off, and it does, it comes off him, that is an unbelievable save. I mean, he's off balance, is Lemons. We're going to see what it comes off. No, it comes off his arm. And I tell you what, they might have to check it because it's not his sleeve.
Yeah, it comes off the right arm of Aiden Heaven, tipped over the top by Lemons. It's a brilliant stop. I mean, I don't think he knows exactly what's going to happen, whether it's going to take a touch off his own man, his opposite man, or whether it's not going to take a touch whatsoever. It's great instinctive reactions from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, and there's no penalty check in the end, but what a save it was from Lamens. Connor whipped in now towards the back post. It's going to fall to Damsgaard, who goes for goal. It's blocked away. It's going to still be in there. Maguire misses his header. Collins battling with him. It's going to be Vandenberg. Looks to touch it down, but it's cleared away, and Jensen hooks it back forwards. And that's going to be a simple one. It should have been a catch, and he doesn't. Damsgaard tries to go for goal, and it's cleared away. And Lamens, after making a couple really brilliant stops, with a nervy moment in terms of claiming the ball, but Brentford are back on the attack now. It's going to be Damsgaard, switch it to the right hand side. Brentford well on top for the time being. Ouattara on the right hand side. Once again looks for the nutmeg on Luke Shaw, and once again Luke Shaw is equal to it, but chaotic moments.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a brilliant 40 minutes of football, hasn't it? It was great the other week at Old Trafford, Manchester United versus Leeds, and this game is no different in terms of the quality, the excitement and the energy from both sides. But particularly Brentford in this last 10 minutes have been excellent. I don't know how they haven't scored. It is an interesting one, that, isn't it? We're just seeing shots of the latest save there from Lamens. Comes off the arm of heaven, and of course it nearly goes into the back of the net. If it did, it would have counted, because of course it's a Manchester United arm and not a Brentford arm. It does just ask the question, doesn't it? Is that not handball? I mean, I'm not. No one can be totally clear on the handball rule anymore, can they? But yeah, it is a strange one.
I don't know. It looks like handball to me because it's below his sleeve. His arm's a little bit stretched. It's not that close to his body, and it stops Igor Thiago from making contact with a chance from 5 yards, 6 yards out. I mean, he's handled it away from his man.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see replay over and over again, won't we, if Manchester United go on to win this game, and I'm sure it'll be something that Keith Andrews addresses as well after the game, as well as Brentford fans. I mean, that they very well might get themselves an equaliser, but here come Manchester United.
Yeah, and it's Bruno Fernandes in possession, very central. He's got a good passing opportunity. He finds Amad Diallo, hits the post, and it goes in. And I believe the offside flag does go up just about against Amad Diallo. Caught offside again. It's a great finish from him, post and into the far. Well, it hits the far post and then goes in at the far other opposite side netting. But we're seeing it again. How close is this one? Bruno Fernandes picks it up. Well, he is miles off. He's about 2 bodies worth of being offside. It's quite poor from Amad Diallo looking across the line. Also, Van den Berg was booked about a minute ago for a challenge to stop a counter-attack from Sk. But yeah, the right call.
Yeah, he's got the pace on him as well, Diallo, hasn't he? In behind Michael Chiota, who's got his back to him, so he doesn't see him coming. He doesn't need to make that run as quickly as he does. Again, though, it's Bruno Fernandes pulling the strings, isn't it? We saw him cross the ball in towards Diallo to the far post. He crossed in for the header by Maguire to Casemiro for the goal as well. So Fernandes starting in excellent form, as he has been, of course, this season. But yeah, Diallo, he's been a little bit goal shy recently, clearly, just a little bit too eager to get on the end of that pass.
Yeah, Thiago with the ball down the right-hand side. Can't find a teammate. Harry Maguire coming away with it, and he stabs a nice ball down the line, but Coyote intercepts it, and he's balling behind for Ouattara. He lays it back off for Shard. A great sliding challenge from Diallo, and it's a sliding challenge that goes straight into the path of Bruno Fernandes. And here come Man United, and Mbuemo's in acres of space, and he's being ignored, and he goes to the opposite side for Sk. He cuts inside, goes for goal. Well, it ends up being the right decision from Bruno Fernandes, and Sk, who's probably been the quietest player on the pitch, cuts inside. He fakes going for goal initially, sits his man down, rifles it into the back of the net. It's another assist this season for Bruno Fernandes, and Benjamin Sesko goes wild with the Manchester United fans. It feels harsh to say this because they've scored anyway, and I think you know what I'm going to say, Tom.
Yeah.
Brian Mbuemo must be a little bit frustrated.
Yeah, his reaction isn't as buoyant, shall we say, as Sesko's, but they have scored, Manchester United, and I think Brentford probably deserve to be level, but they find themselves now 2 behind. It's very strange, isn't it, how he doesn't pass it to Brian Mbuemo, but as you say, he makes the right choice in the end, and the outcome is a goal. I think that's a classic case of makes no mistake from Sesko. Just beat his man who slides in, and all he has to do then is just make sure there's enough power, and it's either side of Kelleher. It is actually pretty close to the goalkeeper, but at that sort of range, if you get enough power, it's always going to go into the back of the net. But yeah, it's another goal for Sesko. That's now double digits in the Premier League. It's 19 assists for Bruno Fernandes. Could have been a goal for Brian Mbuemo, but it wasn't to be.
Yeah, I think that's actually brilliant from Sesko, because the way he quickly takes that touch around his man and then gets his shot off so quick with no real run-up or anything. He's just pure power. Bruno Fernandes is one off equaling De Bruyne and Thierry Henry for 20 assists. 2 more to break the record. Thierry Henry season, he scored 20 goals and got 20 assists, which is just an insane stat. That's probably never going to be one that's broken, is it? 20 goals and 20 assists. But yeah, he's one off De Bruyne and Henry. That's not 2 bad players to almost equal or break the record against.
Yeah, Bruno, he just needs 12 more goals as well, and then he will get 20 and 20.
well, he's looked that good that he's probably not going to be that far off at this stage. Recently, he's been brilliant. Of course, he's got a really good argument to be Premier League Player of the Season. I think the fact that Man United probably going to finish third does quite help that case as well. No one really stands out for Player of the Year from Arsenal or Man City, really. For me, they've been quite good teams, Man City and Arsenal, without really incredible individuals. And for Haaland's standards, I'm not sure, really. You could, of course, he's in the mix, 23 goals, top scorer, but it's not as impressive as Bruno's season, surely.
Yeah, no, I don't think it is. I mean, if you're talking Team of the Year, he's obviously in that, isn't he, Bruno Fernandes, as is Igor Thiago. Here come Brentford.
Yeah, Yarmolenko, decent ball into the area, well defended, a little bit better from Dalot. It falls to Damsgaard, and he lays it off for Jensen, who's going to hit it from the edge of the box. He catches it nicely. He almost opens his body up to feint as if he's going to try bend it into the far corner. He goes for the near post. He hooks it just wide, a little bit too much curl. I tell you what, he gets some wicked curl on it as well. It looks like it's destined for that far corner. You can see why Jensen, when he hits it, starts to move away as if he scored, because, like I said, the ball fizzes so quickly away from goal. Decent opportunity, but it goes wide. Yeah,
it moves so much that you wouldn't be surprised to see it that it took a deflection. It didn't. It's going to be a goal kick, but that's the sort of the whip that he got on it and the sort of trajectory and how it moved so quickly from right to left. Good effort from Brentford, and again, it's just a gap in defence. There's space on the sort of in front of the back four this time, as opposed to within the back four. It's a chance. It's a half chance for Brentford, and they've had plenty of them.
Yeah, as you see, Luke Shaw goes across towards Aidan Heaven. Harry Maguire now with only a minute remaining after 2 minutes of added time. Lewis Potter wins his header, knocks it down for Collins, and can Brentford get on the attack for one more opportunity before half-time? It's Schade driving forwards with no real options, so he gives it back for Collins, and they do just slow things down. You maybe thought that Brentford could have tried to get on the front foot for one more chance. They've got about 40 seconds to do so. Ball to the right for Vandenberg, who's going to carry it into the opposite half. We now see Yarmolenko looks for a switch ball to the left-hand side. It's a decent idea. Poor execution, though. Easily cleared away. It's a bit lazy from Mbeumo, who can't bring it down. Diallo might have a bit of a problem. He just pulled up for the time being, but now he's just walking, so he seems to be okay again. As Damsgaard looks to switch play to the right. Once again, just needs a bit of a desperate ball. Doesn't give Ouattara much chance. Bounce off the top of his head and behind for throwing. And you think that'll be that. Goals from Casemiro and Sesko do separate the two sides going into half-time at Old Trafford. It is Manchester United 2, Brentford 0.
Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sesko finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on both of them. They should have been level, and they paid the price for not being, as Manchester United went up the other end and got a second just before the break. Sk finishing off after some brilliant work from Fernandes. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A brilliant start to the game. Casemiro scoring after 11 minutes. A corner in from Bruno Fernandes, headed down by Maguire and finished off by the Brazilian. But there was a good response from the Bees, and they came fighting back. Two big chances for Thiago, and he fluffed his lines on.
And it's a warm welcome back to this off-tube independent studio-based commentary and our coverage of the game at Old Trafford. Manchester United 2, Brentford 0 coming into this second half. Manchester United have kicked us off. They're going from right to left for the second 45 minutes. The red shirt, the white shorts, the black socks. Brentford from left to right in the all light blue. As Manchester United had initially lost possession from kick-off, but now they have won it back through Mazraoui, who's been a half-time substitute. Amad Diallo looked to pick up a little bit of a knock right towards the end of the first half, so on comes Mazraoui for him. So a change on the pitch, but none in the commentary booth. It's myself, Tom Wilson, joined by Kieran Graham once again for the second half. And Kieran, we were treated really in that first 45 minutes. We can only hope for the same in this second.
Yeah, we can. Fingers crossed it's a good game. Maybe Manchester United aren't going to go for it as much with them already being 2-0 up, but it'd be refreshing to see them just still want more and more goals. And Brentford know that they've got to come out of the traps fine. There's goals in this game for Brentford. We've seen it in the first half. Six shots for the visitors. They had a golden chance where they didn't even get a shot off for Igor Thiago, which would have been the chance of the game. Through on goal, just never really pulled the trigger. But yeah, there's definitely goals in this game for Brentford, so Man United have to stay sharp.
The ball out towards this right-hand side for Brentford. Dango Ouattara takes it well, beats Shaw, finds Igor Thiago. Good feet from him to play it back to Damsgaard. Heavy pass though from Damsgaard, looking for Coyote. He's kept it in, but he's had to flick it away from the touchline and out for a throw instead. 47 minutes on the clock. Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Off-Tube Independent Studio-based commentary. Goals in the first half from Casemiro and Sk have given Manchester United a 2-goal advantage. Coming into today, third in the Premier League, level on points before kick-off with Liverpool and Aston Villa, 8 points above Brighton in the non-Champions League place. Before today, they'd scored in 21 Premier League games in a row, now make it 22. It's their best run in a post-Fergie era. Only the top 2 in the Premier League have scored more than the 60 that they have. Here's Dalot, backwards towards halfway. Casemiro forwards to Mazraoui, out towards the right hand side for Dalot again. The Portuguese international moves it back to the opening goal scorer this evening in Casemiro. Here's Mbeumo against his former side. Dalot again on the right. Tight marking though from Brentford just to keep them at bay. But space now for Kobbie Mainoo essentially. Round the corner to Bruno Fernandes. Here's Sk, edge of the area. Corner of the box on the right hand side. Chops it back across first time from Luke Shaw. He's ambitious, but it's not quite what he was looking for. Out for a goal kick.
Yeah, out for a goal kick. In the end, swipes right across the opportunity. And one of those, it was worth an effort, wasn't it, from Luke Shaw? But yeah, not a great striker. Never been known for his goal scoring, has he? Been an attacking fullback. Of course, just as good defensively as he is going forward. He used to be a lot better going forwards than what he is these days when he's a little bit younger. But we now see Collins back in possession.
I mentioned Manchester United's difficulty this season in keeping clean sheets. Only the bottom 2 in the league have kept fewer than they have. Interestingly, of teams 13 and above, only Fulham with 46 have conceded more than the 45 that Manchester United have. So yes, third in the league, but in terms of goals conceded, they're right down there with some of the worst in the Premier League so far this season. That will give Brentford some hope. They've had chances, Kieran, albeit, as you say, probably not high XG ones because shots never came from those Thiago opportunities. Get your thoughts on that in a second as Mbeumo bursts down the right hand side, ball into the area, is headed away and out for a corner by Vandenberg.
Yeah, it wasn't convincing from Vandenberg again, really. It seems like he was in a couple of minds of what he was actually doing at the back there, but it was an early ball in from Bryan Mbeumo on his weaker right foot. He gets a standing ovation from those Manchester United fans in the crowd, and Harry Maguire's just held up a signal towards Mbeumo, just held up 2 fingers to, which maybe is reiterating that he's going to make a movement because he's usually the target.
Yeah, something from the training ground once again, perhaps. That's what it looked like created the opening goal this evening. Ball in from Mbeumo is high towards the back post. It's crowded. Maguire wins it. It's punched away by the goalkeeper. It's another shot on target. This time it's Harry Maguire. Damsgaard can bring it clear. 4 in the attack here for Brentford. Swept over towards the left for Ouattara. Brings it out of the sky. Can't find Igor Thiago though, and it's good defensive work in the end from Kobbie Mainoo to stop Brentford in their tracks, but they were very nearly caught out.
Yeah, they were. It just feels like Brentford just did unnecessary things on that counter-attack. A little bit of a ball over the top, a heavy pass. I thought someone could have just drove them forwards like we've seen Bruno Fernandes do so much in this game. Not everything needs a clipped pass in behind. It just slowed it down. It meant they lost the ball, and in the end was frustrating for them as well, as we now see Jensen in possession. But yeah, like we said, the chances there from the corner that we just saw, we'd called it. It didn't really take a genius to call that Harry Maguire is always the target, is it? But he met it at the back post. It felt like everybody was at the back post, but he still rose highest.
Yeah, just the one Premier League goal of the season so far for Harry Maguire. He's had 2 efforts on target in this one already, though. Wouldn't bet against him, I think, having another effort and potentially even finding the back of net for his 2nd of the season. He wins a lot of headers, but he actually doesn't score that many goals. His best campaign in professional football is 5. That was with Sheffield United, but it was in League One. The best in the Premier League that he's ever had is 3. That was for Leicester in the final season before he moved to Manchester United. Of course, his former side now been relegated to League One in a real riches to rags story. Ball down the line though for Shaw from Fernandes into the area away from Sepp van den Berg once again. 52 minutes on the clock. Manchester United 2, Brentford 0, and another corner for the hosts.
Yeah, there's been so many corners, hasn't there, in this game, and there's been quite the avenue for a lot of chances in this one. And Bruno Fernandes It's probably the reason why he's in this assist race for breaking the record. He's created a lot of chances from the set-piece opportunities this season. He'll be praying. I don't know, of course it'll be on his mind, won't it, this record? Players like to play it down a little bit. He'll definitely be thinking about it. He'll be praying someone can nod this home.
He sure will. Ball into the area from this near side towards a far post. It's nodded down by Casemiro, but it's messy and it's clumpy and it's cleared away by Brentford. As Mazraoui picks it up on halfway, 52 on the clock, still 2-0 to the hosts. The Moroccans just forced away from sending the ball back into the danger zone by the good press of Mikel Damsgaard. He has to go back to Lament, who clears long down the left. Jensen wins the header over Bruno Fernandes. Number 8 v number 8 as Coyote has it now. Face to goal, back to Kelleher's feet, who made a brilliant save to deny Harry Maguire in the first half. And the ball, as Kieran mentioned at the time, over halfway, probably about 3/4 of the way over the line. But of course, whole ball has to cross the whole of the line. He was denied by the Irish international. Ball down the left-hand side looking for Schade. Mazraoui comes to cover in front of the German. And Manchester United are able to bring the ball away. Casemiro drops it back to the Moroccan, who clears down the right-hand side. Collins, though, nods it for Keane Lewis Potter. Now here's Yarmouk. Space out on the left-hand side once more for Damsgaard. Corner of the box for Lewis Potter. Those two between themselves. As Damsgaard moves away from the edge of the area. Little clipped ball into Lewis Potter, who has it stolen away from him by Kobbie Mainoo. Now he comes forward towards halfway. Shrugs off the challenge of Ouattara. Mainoo over towards the right-hand side for Mbeumo to chase. Collins comes across. Mbeumo does get there first, but Collins is able to steal the ball away. 53.5 minutes gone. Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. Coyote nearly put into a spot of bother by his own goalkeeper there, Kareem Kelleher. And Brentford have had that in them today, haven't they? As Kelleher goes forward once again. This time it's a little better for Jensen. It's a good press from Manchester United, but Brentford have certainly caused problems for themselves today, Kieran.
Yeah, they have. It wasn't the best of passes from Kelleher. I thought it was more on Vandenberg than anything. He completely switched off, didn't look at the pass. It would have just gone simply to his feet if he was switched on. So, like I said, yeah, Kelleher took a risk in playing such a short pass, but Vandenberg's been really shaky for me. Yes, he's had a lot of headed clearances so far, but a lot of times he's made a couple of mistakes in this one. 54 minutes on the clock, still 2-0 to Manchester United. But they've got to maybe wake up again this second half, don't they? That's a terrible ball from Jensen, so overhit, out of play for a throw-in, but Brentford just can't get going.
Yeah, maybe they're just feeling the heat at Old Trafford, aren't they? The theatre of dreams. They've struggled at Old Trafford since they've become a Premier League team of Brentford. They did beat Manchester United 3-1 at home in the September reverse fixture. Thiago at the double and Jensen with the goals for Brentford. Sesko with the only one for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes missed a penalty in that one. They're looking for a first ever double against Manchester United since 1936/37. As Maguire goes back to Lamens, who's able to clear, but they've lost all 4 Premier League trips to Old Trafford, and maybe there is a sense of that, Kieran, that they're just feeling a little bit overwhelmed on this grand stage.
Yeah, exactly that. And we're just seeing Amad Diallo, pictures of him now. Well, he's fully got changed and he's in a little bit of retro Manchester United gear and just sat down on the bench. The main positive for Man United as well. It'll be interesting to see if we see him. Patrick Dorgu, back from quite a long-term injury, probably hit the form of his career at Manchester United after starting to be played at left wing under Michael Carrick. Was looking brilliant, got that injury. But here come Brentford on the attack. But that's such a poor ball that sums it up. Maguire should have left that. Lack of communication at the back, and he gives away a cheap throw where we've not been able to really talk about Brentford's throw-ins in this one. Michael Coyote, I don't think I can think of a long throw he's put in today.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. We have not seen it so far. Something we haven't really mentioned. 10 minutes gone now in the second half. The change at half-time, we were speculating and just waiting to see really how that would affect the Manchester United lineup. It is a back five now, isn't it, with Mazraoui coming on for Diallo. It's reverting back to Ruben Amorim's system, if you will, as Coyote throws it to Jensen. Ball into the area. Thiago's going to be offside as it goes past his head. I mean, he's missed the ball again, and it just continues this difficult evening that Igor Thiago is having. Wouldn't have counted even if he had made contact and found the back of the net. But yeah, Manchester United have gone to a back five, to a system which saw Ruben Amorim have little success.
Yeah, there was a moment right before half-time, wasn't there? His final chance of the first half, where he kind of just looked to the sky and smiled, and it just looked like a man who was thinking, what's going to happen for me. Like, nothing's going to go for me at the moment. It just isn't going his way, which is his own fault. It's not like he's getting unlucky in this one. He's being very poor in front of goal. He's almost overthought everything so far. Another one, Josh De Silva back in a matchday squad for the first time in over 800 days, which is quite insane today. So let's see if we see him.
Here's Sk to Dallo. Dallo, edge of the area, cuts back onto his right, trying to get an opportunity for a strike. Coyote's done just enough for now, but Bruno Fernandes takes over. Now Mainu, Casemiro, dinked up looking for Šeško as a miscommunication there. There's a slap of the hand on the right thigh from the Brazilian in frustration. He looks towards the Slovenian, but forward come Brentford. Lewis Potter, though, just showed too much to Mainu, who slides in and wins the ball back for Manchester United. 57.5 gone, 2-0 to the hosts. Here comes Maguire. Just over halfway, moves into this left-hand side now to find Bruno Fernandes in some space. He chops away from the option of Luke Shaw, tries to dink a ball into the box early on. It takes a deflection, comes back from Mainu. Mainu towards halfway for Aidan Heaven, someone we've mentioned very little so far in this one, which I suppose as a centre-half is probably a compliment. As Dallo has it, loops the ball towards the edge of the area, looking for Fernandes, flicked into the air by him. Brought down on the chest of Collins, though, and then swept away clear. On halfway is Thiago battling for it. Maguire wins it. Scrappy, though, from both sides in the last couple of minutes, as Maguire then puts a cool foot on the ball, and the Red Devils are able to just play it between themselves for the time being. A win today would put them up into third in terms of the table as home games are considered. Only Arsenal and Manchester City have been better than they have in their home fixtures so far this season. Here's Igor Thiago. Moves away from a couple of challenges of players in red and beats a couple as well. And then a third. This is brilliant and better from the Brazilian as he moves infield away from Bruno Fernandes. Strong but fair challenge comes in from Kobbie Mainoo, but it's fallen for Dango Ouattara. Here's Coyote. Ball into the area. Flicked towards goal but blocked by Mazraoui. It's out on this near side. Scrappy from both teams though.
Yeah, I don't know if Kevin Schade ends up getting a shot off and then gets blocked by Mazraoui, but it's going to go out for throwing. Thiago, he did really well, but once again it just felt, is he holding on for it, holding on to the ball a little bit too much. You can tell he's not comfortable deep in possession. He looked a little bit clunky, didn't he? But he looked, he did pretty okay in the end. It got an attacking opportunity, ball out to the right hand side for Coyote. It was a wicked ball across the face of goal, but because Thiago was involved in that stuff on the halfway line, he wasn't in the box.
Long throw from Coyote comes in towards the front post away from Luke Shaw. Underneath it there is Mbeumo, still not clear though from Manchester United, but Dallo's able to rectify that as he punts it into the sky. The previous throw from Coyote, by the way, went short. This one did go long, but not as long as we've seen from the Italian. Here though is Collins forward towards the edge of the area. He might be offside there, Ouattara, as he tries to chest it down as a strike comes in from the Burkina Faso international, but it's off target. It's out of play for a goal kick, and the flag may have gone up in the end anyway. An hour gone, Manchester United 2, Brentford 0.
Yeah, it was really close one, wasn't it? I don't know if the flag does go up in the end, because Mazraoui complains, doesn't he? I think the flag stayed down. Does he just lift it? I think he may have just lifted it right as the screen the angle was about to change. Just hit the hour mark in this one. You
mentioned before Thierry Henry's stellar campaign to, of course, at the time break the assist record with 20. It's since been levelled by Kevin De Bruyne, but in the same season, Kieran, you mentioned that the Frenchman also got 20 goals in what's a really satisfying piece of symmetry between goals and assists. Well, here's another one. Bruno Fernandes has now got 140 goal contributions for Manchester United in the Premier League, 70 goals and 70 assists. It's the joint 5th most for the club in the competition alongside Cristiano Ronaldo. Here's Dango Ouattara, moves infield away from Luke Shaw, not once but twice, goes back for a third bite to the cherry as he is now supported by Coyote, tried to poke it through the lines, blocked away by Manchester United as Bruno Fernandes can bring it away. He's been tightly hassled though by Yarmouk, and in the end the Ukrainian pokes the ball out for a Manchester United throw.
Yeah, it looked like there probably should have been a foul on Bruno Fernandes in the build-up to that attack, but he gets the throw in anyway, and I think he's just making that point to the fourth official as well. Yarmouk, he had a couple of bites here.
This second half, although it has been entertaining, 16 minutes of it we have played, we only got one note down in terms of chances, and that was the Maguire header, which was tamely saved really by Kevin Kelleher, compared to the first half where we got about 9 or 10
big moments in the first 45 minutes. Hopefully we can see a little bit more from this one. I think the change in system from Michael Carrick has taken a little bit of the momentum out of things, Kieran, and I think that will of course suit them given that they've got the 2-goal advantage.
Yeah, it will. It definitely will. Man United will be confident that they can see this one out. Yes, Brentford have had chances. Just even when they get into the final third, you can never be too sure that they're going to actually create a chance, get a shot off, and I think Man United have used that to their own benefit in this, and it feels like if Man United want to turn it on and play to the full, then they really could. It's been one of those games where just random moments they've looked really good in this one, and this could be one of them.
That's excellent from Sk. First time ball around the corner towards Mbeumo. It's actually blocked away though by 2 in Brentford defence. Ball out towards this near right hand side for Dango Ouattara. What can he do? Up against Aiden Heaven, skips round him with ease. Ouattara into the area looking for Sharda. Away though from Dallo, only as far as Jensen. He nods it into the path of Lewis Potter. He's been relatively quiet in this second half considering how impactful he was in the first, but here he is with the 1-2. Ball into the box is too close to Lemens. And it's a simple save in the end, but it's a threat from the Bees.
Yeah, it's an okay ball, but nobody's there in that sense, so it's an easy take for Lemens, who just flies across to intercept the cross. Two-handed, no one made a front post run, which is what that cross really needed. Maybe Lewis Potter could have acknowledged that before he crossed it, because there was no one really even lurking around that area as Jensen brings his man down.
Yeah, he does indeed. It's Brian Mbeumo, the former Bees man, who's been fouled by Jensen. Brentford have been really good this season. We made the point earlier that Keith Andrews wasn't fancied, given that the task he had was monumental really on paper. A change in manager, a change in captain, and the 2 arguably best players in Mbeumo and Visser out the door as well, but they've been very, very consistent. They've been 7th or 8th in the form guide over the last 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 and 30 game periods. It hasn't as if it's been up and down, but here's Mbeumo in behind. Heavy touch though. Falls into the path of Coheen Kelleher, where Brentford have been poor in front of goal all game, Kieran. We've certainly seen that from Manchester United in this second half. Yeah,
as we now see Jensen turns away from his man as well. But yeah, not great from Mbeumo. An opportunity in behind. He's looked frustrated himself. Like we said, it just didn't really get the look of his teammates in the first half. Bruno Fernandes ignored quite a couple of really good runs from him. Thiago is dropping into wide areas. He's dropping deeper for Brentford. Maybe that's the sign of frustration, because he's that desperate to get on the ball and make something happen because of the first half. But yeah, it's just not gone for Mbeumo against his former club today.
65 minutes on the clock. Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. We're going to see another Michael Coyote long throw, and they'll be hoping this one's a bit more fruitful. The extra context in that statement is that Coyote's had to come from right to left to take it. There was a short option there in Lewis Potter, but he's now waved the former Hull man away, and he's opting to throw it into the box. I assume it'll be towards the large frame of Nathan Collins. The throw comes in from Coyote towards the front post. It's flicked on by Vandenberg. Away though from Maguire. There's a coming together inside the area, and the referee Chris Kavanagh has blown his whistle. It's Igor Thiago who's the guilty party on this occasion. It's not been the Brazilian's night, has it?
No, it's not. There's not a lot in it, is
no.
It's just a little bit clumsy. He's done that a couple of times from set pieces as well. Harry Maguire knows exactly what's going to happen. He uses it. He throws himself to the ground. He knows exactly what the referee's going to do. As well, it seems to always happen. And the free kick's ready to be taken.
Yeah, 66 minutes on the clock, approaching the final quarter of the game. Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. If you're just joining us, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to Off-Tube Independent Studio-based commentary. Most of the action, in truth, happened in the first 45 minutes. Casemiro after 11 minutes, and then just 2 minutes before half-time, Benjamin Sk doubled the lead for Manchester United. Shaw was booked in that first half, as was Van den Berg. Chris Kavanagh and myself and Kieran, to be honest, have had very little to do since then. Here's Menu, though, to Casemiro, backwards to Maguire, across to Heaven. He touches it over halfway. Little step over and beats a couple. That is brilliant from Aiden Heaven. He's got a third to beat in Coyote. Can't get around him initially. Good strength from the Italian to hold him up. Poked back towards halfway for Menu. The central option is Casemiro, but he's quickly closed down and not used by the England international Kobbie Mainoo. who was, of course, frozen out of the squad by Ruben Amorim. He's been maybe not a mainstay, but certainly more of a regular as Harry Maguire's ball towards Bruno Fernandes is off target. It's out of play. Almost as messy as his haircut. Kieran.
Looks like he'd been electrocuted. Harry Maguire, I don't know where that's come from. Maybe that collision that he's just had with Igor Thiago. Not going to notice, is he? But yeah, he was a bit frustrated with his pass and he's in possession now.
Yeah, it doesn't strike me as much of a fashionista, Harry Maguire. I don't think he cares what he looks like when he walks out the door, I would imagine. I mean, I might just be assuming. But here come Brentford. Damsgaard forward to Yamiluk, supported by Utara. Brilliant sliding challenge in there from Casemiro. I mean,
he's been great.
He's been brilliant, hasn't he? I mean, you wouldn't have said this 2 years ago, but he's aging like fine wine.
Yeah, he is. Well, it wasn't that long ago. We had pundits at the highest broadcasters saying he's destined for Saudi and saying that he should leave, maybe benefit the club. The club should take anything they can for him. And now look at the season he's having. He's been brilliant.
They'd be desperate to keep hold of him. He's been pretty firm, though, the Brazilian, that he is going to depart Old Trafford after the conclusion of this season. But he will play a part, you would think, in Manchester United returning to the Champions League. If they win this evening, they need just 2 points from the remaining 4 games to do so. Here's Damsgaard, though, trying to put a bee in that particular bonnet. Here's Dango Utara, chops in, ball into the area, away from Maguire, towards the edge of the box as Jensen keeps it alive. Good header from Mainu to beat Damsgaard in the air, and then it's a poor pass out towards this right-hand side. It'll be a Manchester United throw. 68.5 minutes on the clock. Manchester United 2, Brentford 0. A potential issue here for Bruno Fernandes. We'll wait and see if anything comes of that. If it does, it'll be Kieran to talk you through it, because he's going to take you through to full time.
Yeah, and he looks really frustrated, doesn't he, Bruno Fernandes? He almost looked emotional. He put his top over his head, but he'll continue for now. As you see the throw taken down the line, not down by Collins. Just need a strong ending, don't they? Brentford, they need a goal really before the 85th minute mark if they want to add any real nerves to Manchester United's game. Harry Maguire takes a risky touch in his own area. It's laid off for Ouattara, cuts inside, goes for goal. Brilliant, Aiden Heaven. Again, he's had some vital moments at the back, hasn't he? Aiden Heaven in this one. Molyuk then finds Damsgaard, attack still live, ball whipped in. It's a wicked one towards the back post. Mazraoui heads it up, and that's a good take from Lamens, but a big block from Aiden Heaven.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been brilliant in the second half, hasn't he? Aiden Heaven didn't have too much to do in the first half, and for the first 30 minutes of the first half, it looked like Harry Maguire just said to him, let me stick with Igor Thiago. You just worry about yourself, worry about other players. That seemed to have a negative effect on both Maguire's performance and also Diego Dallo's. And in the second half, he's just been allowed a little bit more sort of freedom in defence, Aiden Heaven, and he's doing really well with it.
Yeah, Brian Mbeumo just went down. Oh, nice touch from Coyote. Just skips away from Sesko. And Mbeumo with ease. Long ball towards Kevin Schade on the left-hand side. Good take from him as he drives into the penalty area. Still going onto his left boot. Plays it off Mazraoui out for a corner. But that touch from Coyote, we're expecting a lot of suitors to be in for him this summer because he's a good player, isn't he? A very good defender. Of course, has the attributes going forward. He's absolutely rapid. He's just showing a little bit of a different side to his game as well.
Yeah, I've got to admit, I don't think he's up there with the best technical players in the Premier League, but maybe he's proved me wrong because he just pokes it through the legs, as you say, with ease. But yeah, his physical attributes, his ability to read the game, and his defensive work certainly make him well sought.
Yeah, as you see this corner ready to be taken now for Brentford. 70 minutes on the clock. Good opportunities to come up, and this corner's being whipped into on the front post. It glances on. Ouattara's hit the post, and then he's going to boot Harry Maguire in the head. That's going to be a foul, but what a chance for Ouattara. It's up there with the Thiago chance where he never gets his shot off. I think the only maybe benefit of the doubt you'll give him is it bounces right up towards him. But saying that, actually, just seeing the replay, he has a little bit more time to check it as well, to actually be able to adjust. And he hits the post. No one marking him. What a chance.
Yeah, I think he just wants to keep it down, Kieran. That's all he's thinking about. He doesn't want to head over from that distance. I think if he keeps it down, he probably thinks, look, he's probably going to be on target. He just doesn't get the rub of the green on the bounce. And then, as you say, it comes back to him. He's been booked for that overhead kick attempt. He's obviously caught Harry Maguire. I mean, you could understand. I imagine Chris Kavanagh said to him, "It's dangerous play. That's why I booked you." But it seems a little bit harsh for me. But Brentford have hit the post. They probably should have levelled at 1-1. 2 big chances for Thiago. He didn't even take the shots off in the end. Wasted opportunities. They've not had anything at all in this second half, but something from nothing there. From a corner, takes a flick. Ouattara off the post. Maybe should it have been 2-1? It's hard to say, but it's a big chance.
Yeah, a little bit harsh, but that's what I don't really ever get. He has to go for it because he's there. Why would you not go for the shot? It's brave from Harry Maguire. That's what it is, though. Puts his head well and truly on the line for his side. Change coming up for Brentford. Disappointing day for Kevin Schade. He's going to make way for Reiss Nelson. It feels more like a bit of a like-for-like change, that one.
Yeah, it does. Kevin Schade started the season really well, didn't he? And he was brilliant last campaign as well for Brentford under Thomas Frank. But this season, not as effective. Certainly not in the most recent weeks. And today as well, he's done next to nothing. On comes Reiss Nelson.
Yeah, he's not had them all. That's adventurous of games, but Reiss Nelson, he's onto the field of play. Let's see what he can bring to this one for the away side. Luke Shaw's just slowly walking off the field of play with a couple Manchester United physios. He claps his supporters because I believe that's going to be the end of his game. He's going to make way for Lenny Yoro and then potentially Brian Mbeumo for Mason Mount as well. I think it is Mbeumo that's going to make way against his former club, but two not bad players to bring on, Yoro and Mason Mount. It feels like that both those players, though, are yet to really find their form and moment at Manchester United.
Yeah, I mean, I think Brian Mbeumo has been brilliant. I think Manchester United this season have been ace. I think I mentioned the high scoring stats that they've had, and Brian Mbeumo has been a big part of it. They've actually got 5 players, Manchester United, with 8 or more Premier League goals. That's more than any other team so far this season, and Mbeumo is one of them. Sesko, Fernandes, Casemiro and Cunha, the others. I think Mbeumo's been good. He's obviously not been as effective as he was last season, but he's playing in a team with more stars, you would say. He's a big fish in a bigger pond than he was.
Yeah, exactly that. As we see the long ball go forward, headed flick on, cleared away by Collins. As far as Coyote, who brings it down, finds a nice ball into Jensen, who, like we said in the first half, so involved in this game, isn't he? He's a very good technical player, Thijs Jensen. Damsgaard's been clattered, doesn't go down though, so he doesn't get the free kick. Play continues. Reiss Nelson looks for a chipped ball over the top, takes a deflection, and Harry Maguire can clear his lines. Ball down the line from Jensen is a heavy one. That's going to trickle behind for a goal kick. You feel like on another day, Brentford really could have had at least 2 goals, couldn't they? They've had some really good opportunities. I guess the frustrations in the final third have just continued throughout the whole 74 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's been a combination really of Brentford being poor in the final third and Manchester United just having a little bit of luck defensively, because they've actually been I won't say poor. I don't think they've been poor defensively, Manchester United, but they've been a little bit asleep at times. There've been gaps in the defence and they haven't been great at marking. The most recent chance is a representation of that, isn't it? Ouattara at the back post, no one near him, probably should do better. I think against better opponents today, no disrespect to Brentford, against maybe anyone else in the top 5, you would say, they would have at least scored, the visitors, but Manchester United have just had that little bit of fortune and Brentford have just been a little bit underwhelming in the final third.
Yeah, that's a frustrated challenge from Igor Thiago. Aiden Heaven once again just dances around him and he's going to get booked for his causes as well. Well, it seems like the day from hell for Igor Thiago, doesn't he? He's not enjoyed himself at all out there, and once again that was just a foul where Aiden Heaven had him beat, and Thiago could have just let him go, leave it for his teammates, but he wanted to drag him back. A 7th yellow card of the season for him.
Yeah, you wonder why it was him that's come off and not Schade. I mean, both of them have been ineffective, but Thiago more than most. I just don't think he's going to score tonight, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him come off now that he's been booked.
Well, he's had quite a few of these games this season, and he does somehow find a way to always grab a goal. So maybe don't rule him out too quickly in that sense. Like I said, when he is successful, he's very quiet in the games where he scores the goals. As we see, Casemiro heads it down towards Bruno Fernandes. Will be itching to get another assist to his name. All he needs is 2 more this season to break that record. Kobbie Mainoo dances through a couple of challenges. Thiago could have put his foot in there, but he didn't want to. As we now see Kobbie Mainoo find Sesko, flick, and this is lovely football. Bruno Fernandes opens it up. He could have hit it himself, lays it off Casemiro, hits it from distance. It trickles along the surface. He's desperate for a set piece. Thiago's just been pushed. I don't really know why. I don't know what's going on with Fernandes and Thiago there. Just handbags for no real reason, but they're claiming it took a touch, but it's close, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're overreacting a little bit, Kieran. All they're asking for is a corner. It's like they want a penalty, isn't it? They think it's taking a touch and it's not been given by Chris Kavanagh. I think there's a little bit in that they just want to wind Thiago up as well to get him sent off, just to put this game to bed. With Brentford going down to 10 men, I don't think that's going to happen. You just mentioned he'd be desperate to get an assist, Bruno Fernandes. I think you could see that in the way that it opened up, because it's brilliant play on the edge of the box. It's 1-2, intricate play. I thought there was an opportunity there for the Portuguese midfielder to hit that. He lays it back instead to Casemiro, who's probably 10 yards further back. And I don't think there's a reflection on his effort, so it wouldn't have. It shouldn't be a corner, basically.
Yeah, I don't really know how Thiago gets involved in this situation. I don't know why Bruno Fernandes is so annoyed at Igor Thiago. They were still going at it, even when the referee told them to move away. Thiago seemed incensed with Fernandes as they walk away from each other. But we're back underway now. It's the right call. It didn't take a deflection, did it? At first I thought he was saying the goalkeeper got a touch to it. Well, the goalkeeper was nowhere near in the end, as Brentford find their way onto the front foot now. We see it with Reece Nelson. Just has a terrible ball backwards and just completely puts them on the back foot. Again in possession, Jensen looks to hook it down the left. That seemed a desperate forward ball that's intercepted again. Vandenberg comes across and finds Kelleher. Kelleher goes across towards Jensen. Jensen now in possession, finds Damsgaard, who cuts onto his right boot, plays it to the right hand side for Kayode, who's got Ouattara to the right, doesn't use him, goes towards the centre for Damsgaard, turns onto his right boot, plays it down the wing for Ouattara. 78.5 minutes on the clock. Ouattara cuts onto his stronger left to find Collins. Damsgaard again, need a goal quickly if they want to mount a comeback here. Brentford. Damsgaard thought about whipping it in first time. He just checks away from Kobe Mainoo with ease. Plays the ball down the line, looking towards Ouattara. He hangs it up for the back post. It's brought down by Lewis Potter. He thought about going for goal. He didn't. He's almost been caught out. Lays it off for Vandenberg, and the attack stays alive. It's Yarmolyuk on the right hand side. Hangs it in towards the back post again. Well headed away by Diogo Dalot. And Lewis Potter a little bit too hesitant in the build-up to take a shot at goal, which kind of just sums it up for Brentford at times in this one. Dalot with a very poor touch, then brings his man down and he gives away a very cheap free kick.
Brentford did really well to keep that attack alive, because I thought maybe on 2 or 3 occasions there, Kieran, it was dead and gone. And then Manchester United maybe just a little bit overconfident there, trying to play out. They didn't want to clear their lines. They wanted to make sure that they kept possession. And that poor touch from Dalot leads to that 50-50. I think he's lucky not to be booked there, to be honest.
Yeah, potentially is. He's had a bit of an interesting game, hasn't he? Diogo Dalot hasn't been the best in this one. The Portuguese fullback, as we see the set piece to be taken. You think set piece is maybe the way back in this game for Brentford. As we now see Jensen, the man over it, hangs it in towards Vandenberg. His headed flick on, he's headed away by Mazraoui, only as far as Ouattara, hooks it back in, headed away again, this time by Casemiro. Man United players meeting everything so far. As we now see Ouattara back on the right hand side, dancing to the penalty area, hangs it up towards the back post. It's just a little bit over here, headed away by Dalot again. Jensen keeps it alive, and here's Reece Nelson. And checks away from Fernandes, finds Jensen again, who gives it back to Reece Nelson, opens it up and plays a 1-2 with Damsgaard. He's still going, they can't get the shot off. Yarmolyuk to the right for Ouattara. He plays it down the line looking for Jensen, but it's well cleared away by Mazraoui. Only as far as Yarmolyuk though, who had space ahead of him, doesn't use it though. Plays a 1-2 with Kayode. They're on top for the time being. Brentford without creating chances. Reece Nelson sprints around with it under no real pressure. Plays it to the left hand side for Lewis Potter. He plays it back down the left hand side. It was actually Jensen who's just found Lewis Potter, and Nelson into the penalty area. Once again it just opened up for a shot on his right boot, didn't take it on, and then Casemiro slides in and gives away a throw-in, and Coyote is going to look to launch this one in, but Brentford's so hesitant in front of goal.
Yeah, Manchester United aren't under tons of pressure, are they? I mean, it's that stage in the game where the team that are 2-0 up, they're going to be sat back a little bit more. They're not going to have too much attacking impetus, but it's not exactly backs against the wall.
Yeah, as you now see this long throw ready to come in. 10 shots in the game for Brentford so far. Vandenberg doesn't win his header, falls to the edge, and it's well cleared away. Only as far as the Ukrainian Yarmolyuk, who brings it down with a nice touch. He's got an option to the left. He finds Jensen. Back out to the left-hand side. Coyote stays where he took the throw from. Cuts back, gives it back to Jensen. Players lurking at the back post is who he intends to find. Mazraoui heads away. Only as far as his teammate Kobe Mainoo. Thiago's battling with him. Got to be careful. He thought about it, didn't he? It looked like he was destined for a second yellow card. He pulled out from it, and then Kobe Mainoo with a forward ball. He's a bit under hit, looking for Sk, and here come Brentford on the attack again. There's a lot of red shirts back. Not really many blue shirts of Brentford forwards, as we see Jensen spreads play for Lewis Potter, who stayed on the right-hand side for this attack. Ouattara finds Yarmolyuk just on the edge of the box. It's Damsgaard, looks for the return pass. Everybody stood still, and that's going to trickle out of play for a goal kick. As Yarmolyuk was trying to keep it in play, bundles out of play after being nudged over from Mason Mount.
Yeah, it's been a professional performance, I think, in the second half so far from Michael Carrick's side. I think he's made that change at half-time, which I'm not going to say it changed the game, but it certainly took the sting out of it. It allowed Manchester United to be a little bit more defensively solid, both then and now, in that shape, and it's really benefited them. I think it was really smart. Diallo was injured, and instead of bringing on an attacking player that was like for like, he clearly thought, not going to shut up shop, but we're going to make a change, which makes us look a little bit more pragmatic and makes it a little bit more difficult for Brentford. It slows things down. It allows us to keep possession a little bit better, and it's certainly benefited them. But again, we go back to that same point that we made before. Brentford have been goal shy recently. Only 4 goals are lost across the last 5 games in the Premier League. They had 3 0-0s. They've drawn 5 games in a row. Yes, they haven't been beaten a whole load. Only 1 defeat in the last 11 competitive fixtures inside 90 minutes. They're going to lose tonight. And that's because they haven't been good enough in front of goal.
Yeah, as you see, Lewis Potter heads it down the line looking for Jensen into the middle. Now it's with Coyote. Can they create some chances in this final 7 minutes or so? Ouattara driving forwards on the right, goes onto his right boot, checks onto his left. Nice play from him. He's still going, goes onto his right, hangs it up towards the centre. He just does too much again for my liking. His ball in is easily taken by Lemens once more. And Dango Ouattara, who looks really dangerous at times in this game, just feels like he's taking too many touches.
Yeah, wasn't really unleashed in the first half, was he? I made that point late on in the first half. But in this second, he's certainly seen more of the ball. It's ball to his feet. And he's enjoyed some decent one-on-ones. He's beaten Mainoo a couple of times. He beat Heaven once or twice as well. And as you say, it's just that final ball, which has been the case all evening for the Bees.
Yeah, it has. The final ball really letting them down so far. As we see the ball with Lemens, he's going to take his time as Thiago just jogs over towards him. And then he gets the ball in his hand. He almost just drops it as he tried to launch it over the head of Thiago. Got slightly fortunate. Lemens is telling his side to push up. He's going to boot it long, not take any risks towards Sk. It's a nice ball up to him as well if he can control it, and he can, and he's done brilliant, but it's a poor touch by Mason Mount, but it ricochets to Kobe Mainoo. Casemiro then in the middle for Bruno Fernandes, and here come Manchester United on the attack, and Bruno opens it up, looks to the right hand side for Dalot, whips it across the face of goal, intercepted by Jensen once again. Plays a dinked ball to the left hand side, terrible ball from Jensen, gives it straight back to Fernandes, almost slips as he almost fakes the cross. He then gets caught out, and Lewis Potter can carry it forward. He's got space on the right hand side with his teammates if he can find them. Coyote plays it down the right hand side for Ouattara. He's got Xerxes for company. Damsgaard is going to drive it forward. Plays a terrible ball again, and they've just hit that wall, it feels, Brentford, where they're all just a little bit deflated. They look a bit tired. They've put quite a lot into this game energy-wise. The pressing's been quite high, but yeah, the standard, the quality's dropping.
Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah, the running out of ideas, I think, is probably the phrase that comes to mind. Kieran, they've fought hard and they've worked hard and they've been asked to work hard as well by a really good performance from Manchester United. It just doesn't look like they've got enough in the tank.
Yeah, it doesn't for the time being, but anything can happen in football. Probably going to be quite a bit added on as well, so definitely if they can get a quick one, as there's a nice ball down the line. Yarmolyuk gets there, he keeps it in play as well as he looks for that return pass, and that's going to be a corner kick. Casemiro had a few bites at it, but couldn't prevent the corner.
No, he couldn't. There was plenty of corners, weren't there, in the first half. There's been loads in this game, in truth, for both sides. We've seen, of course, Manchester United scored from one with Casemiro in the second half. Brentford hit the post from one with Dango Ouattara, so they'll be hoping to get on the end of this.
Yes, this is ready to be taken now. It's going to be another set-piece opportunity. They go short from it in the end towards Damsgaard. He's in the penalty area. Checks onto his right boot. Hangs it up in the area. Not a great ball in. Dalot heads away. You just whip it in, wouldn't you, initially at this stage? And even then, Damsgaard probably could have taken it a little bit quicker. The actual cross that he put in. Nelson back to Ouattara. Had a lot of space to turn into, which he didn't use. It's blocked. It's only as far as Nelson, who lays it off for Jensen. He cuts onto his right boot, hits it from distance. What a hit that is from Matthias Jensen. He hit one earlier in the game which whistled wide. Well, we said that if they can get a quick goal, anything can happen in this one. What a strike that is from Matthias Jensen from distance. Hammers it into the far corner. What a hit that is, and it's game on again.
Well, it's brilliant from Jensen. As you say, it's a very similar effort to the one that just whistled wide earlier on in the game. This one doesn't. It finds that far corner, it hits the side netting, and there's absolutely no chance for Lemens in goal. I don't know if he has a full clear view of it, to be honest, because the Brentford man on the edge of the area, which I think is actually Sepp van den Berg, interestingly, has to duck to allow the ball to go past him, and maybe the Dutchman's just blocking the goalkeeper's view. But either way, it doesn't matter. It's still a brilliant strike from Jensen, and it's into the back of the net. And well, what do I know? I was saying, making out like they weren't going to score. They were dead and buried. They were gone in the game. Well, Jensen's just proved me wrong, and it's game on.
I believe we'd seen a stat earlier where it said that Brentford have scored the second most goals from the 70th minute onwards this season. They had 18. That's now their 19th in this one. That's why you can't really count them out in games like this. And like we said, they were applying the pressure, having a lot of the ball, but unfortunately for them, just weren't creating it into shooting chances. And Matthias Jensen finally thought, right, we're gonna pull the trigger here. We're gonna go for goal, and he does, and it's an unbelievable strike. He's probably been one of Brentford's best players. Yes, he's made a few mistakes in possession, but he's a bit of a risk taker, isn't he? He plays those risky passes, high risk, high reward, essentially, and we've just seen that exactly there. As Jensen back in possession, well, it's going to be a nervy ending for Manchester United, probably a nervy ending for the sides around Brentford as well in this European race, as Mason Mount gives away a free kick. But probably we're going to see at least maybe 5 or 6 minutes of added time, and that was definitely a moving ball where they took that free kick. There's 89 minutes on the clock. Manchester United 2, Brentford 1, as it's the Bees trying to get on the ascendancy. Xerxes on for Sesko. Xerxes felt like he was waiting to come on for about 6 minutes, didn't he? As we see Ouattara on the right hand side. It's just slowed down for the moment for Brentford because Manchester United sat so deep. It's now Damsgaard balling towards Nelson. Back to Damsgaard again. Forward ball for Nelson. He's had a pretty decent impact in this one. As former Arsenal manners, Ouattara hangs it into the box, and there's a header, and it's Damsgaard straight down the throat of Lemens, who's going to take his time. It's a half chance from a headed opportunity. You wouldn't pick Damsgaard, just floats across. It's the type of chance where a glanced header, which is what it was, could end up anywhere, but it's good goalkeeping.
Yeah, it's just right down the goalkeeper's throat, isn't it, to be honest? It's a pretty simple save because he has to save it, and that is why it's good goalkeeping. But either side of him, and you do just wonder, would that go into the back of the net? Less contact on it, and it probably flies into the far corner a little bit more across the ball into that near post. It would be a really, really interesting to see what would have happened.
Yeah, as you see, 5 minutes of added time. I thought it'd been a little bit more potentially, but Brentford with 5 more minutes to create chances, try and find a leveller in this one to mount the pressure on the European race. As we now see Damsgaard in possession, goes to the left hand side for Lewis Potter. He's going to look for a ball fizzed towards the back post, looking for Ouattara. Vital touch from Mazraoui, and it's going to go for a throw in. A good opportunity to launch the ball in.
Yeah, well, the tails are up now, aren't they, for the Bees? Or the stingers are up for the Bees. They certainly fancy themselves, and we don't have the benefit of hearing the atmosphere inside Old Trafford, but I bet it's dropped.
Yeah, I bet it has. I bet it's very nervy as Casemiro flies in for a challenge. He's not going to go for a goal kick. No, it isn't. He's going to go for a corner kick. Unless Casemiro has got the decision, he's still complaining. He's still looking. It must be a corner because he wags his finger. Yeah. I thought it came off Coyote last. I might be very wrong.
Yeah, there's a few bounces, few bobbles, and few
back and forth in there. Yeah, I think it is a corner. I think it comes off Casemiro.
Interesting. I watched that back and thought that it was a goal kick.
No.
I think maybe Casemiro decides to go. It almost ricochets about 3 times.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
It's so hard to tell, and that's where it gets tricky for the officials, of course. Hate to be an official, wouldn't you? As we see, Ouattara hangs it up towards the back post. The header is down, but it's well cleared. Wait, now it's Yarmolenko. Plays it to the right-hand side for Jensen, who's still got the space on the right for Ouattara, who's going to drive forwards onto his left boot. Plays it down the line for Nelson. Turns away onto his right boot. Still good challenging from Xerxes. He then does kick the ball away. That should be a yellow card, it feels, for him, but he's probably going to get away with it. Another long throwing opportunity.
Yeah, Xerxes came on for Sesko, didn't he? I think he'd be okay. I don't think it's a serious injury, but he did look to pick up a little bit of a knock just before, actually, that Jensen goal, and he was right in front of Jensen as he just shifted it to his right to hit it. So had Sesko maybe been brought off sooner, would they have scored?
Yeah, and it is a yellow card for Xerxes for kicking the ball away there. 2 minutes into this, but we've seen a couple of stoppages for set pieces. Coyote holds his left arm up. He's going to look to launch this one in towards the front post. That's a clear push. I mean, what on earth is Nathan Collins thinking? I mean, he's fuming with the referee. He's got to be careful. Goes right into the face of him, but why even give him that opportunity? I mean, that is terrible from Collins.
Yeah, he should know better to put hands on his man. With that being said, we've just seen a replay. He's barely done that, has he?
Actually, yeah, I'll give him the benefit. Well, that's the thing. There, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt in saying he's very soft. There is a moment just before Casemiro goes down where both hands are on his back. So you've just given him the opportunity to fly forward. Referees fall for it every time. Why put both hands on the back? It's as if players, they just don't learn. Yeah,
he didn't need to, did he? He was already moving away, Casemiro. And he's such a danger, Collins. They need to make sure that they get the ball to him and try and get him involved in that 6-yard area, in that box from set pieces. Doesn't need to be putting his hands up like that.
No, he doesn't. As you see Brentford back on the attack, Nelson's going to keep it in play. Like I said, been quite impressed with his impact in this one. We see Lewis Potter again on this left-hand side. Always wants to get it onto his right boot. He finds Damsgaard, who looks for a hooked ball down the line for Nelson, who's going to get there on his left boot, and it's well deflected away by Casemiro. Or is it just sliced off? Yeah, I think he's actually just a terrible cross from Reece Nelson, and it's going to go for a goal kick. And this is slightly bizarre. I mean, I won't make too much comment on what's going on from the Man United players celebrating that defending from Casemiro like they've won the league themselves, but man of the match in this one, probably fair.
Yeah, I was just going to say he's been brilliant, hasn't he? Casemiro, of course, got the opening goal. Don't really think he's actually put a foot wrong, to be honest. I can't remember him being beaten one-on-one by anyone. I can't remember him misplacing a pass. I might be wrong. Maybe I'm sort of looking through rose-tinted glasses at him, but he has been good today. He put a really strong challenge in, didn't he, when it was 2-0 at the start of the second half. It looked like Brentford were away, and he just steamed across. He looked 10 years younger than he is and put a really good challenge in, and that sort of epitomised him today. Just that sort of player that just won't be beaten today.
Yeah, and here come Brentford on maybe a final attack. That's a lovely touch. Nutmeg from Damsgaard, then plays a nice ball down the line for Nelson. He can't beat his man. It's going to go for a throw in. Coyote knows he's needed, launched himself across to the left-hand side. It's going to be a final chance to come up for Brentford in this one.
Curse the commentator, that wasn't it, Kieran? It was Casemiro that he beat to get past. So.
Yeah, he dropped Casemiro to the foot, sent him to the shops. See what he comes back with as we see this long throw to be taken. Coyote launched it into the area once again. Collins has done it again. I mean, what on earth is he thinking? He's done the exact same thing at the front post, puts both of his hands on the back of Casemiro. I don't even feel sorry for him on this one, because why on earth give the referee the decision? Nathan Collins really let his side down. He's been yellow carded for his protest. See it back again. I mean, it's so soft again, but you're putting your hands on him. Why? You don't need to.
Yeah, what's that saying? Shame on, what is it? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I mean, he's conned him twice there, Casemiro, but Collins should know better about the second time.
Yeah, as we now see this free kick to be taken, it should be that in this game. Well, it was a double in the first half for Manchester United. Casemiro and Sesko with the goals. It was a bit of late drama as Jensen hit an absolute perler into the far corner to make it game on, but Man United do withstand the pressure at the end, and they solidify their place in third place in the Premier League. It finishes at Old Trafford, Manchester United 2, Brentford 1.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap